gets even better. Hale from Knoxville, Tennessee. They go to the same high school, Farragut High School, Knoxville, Tennessee area. So cool to see those current college teammates, former high school teammates.
Hello and welcome. I'm Reed Mouse, joined along here with Zach Verdillo. We're here in Xenia, Ohio for the second game of the Great Lakes season here for the Hamilton Joes. Yesterday we saw an exciting one, or at least Zach did. I wasn't there on the call, but Zach, how'd that game go yesterday?
The game was great. The Joes settled in after a 4-run first inning they gave up, and Absent Coffee started the charge offensively with a home run that led to the Joes catching fire offensively for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I saw that they won they had a go-ahead run in the bottom of the 8th inning by Chris Hamilton. Had a triple to take the lead 8-7. We're going to see if we can make a little more of that magic going on today here in Game 2 of the season, where the matchup we got going on the hill on the bump is Donovan Thacker for our Hamilton Joes and Palmer Steventon, I apologize, for the Xenia Scouts. And we've yet to see Thacker throw. This is, of course, the second game of the year, so be an exciting action.
Yeah, Thacker is a Madonna University product. He only threw in 4 appearances this year, but was 2-0 in his 9 2/3 inning. Had a .93 ERA in the small sample size. So this summer you can definitely get some more innings. He's starting tonight, so you know that the experience this summer will help him out going forward.
Yeah, we're going to have a good crowd here at Grady's Field, as we mentioned, athletes in action for the Xenia Scouts, as we're getting the meeting of the managers down there on the field, and that means that we are almost ready to game time as the PA announcer is taking off. Let's go ahead and tell you what the starting lineups are for our Hamilton Joes. Starting in center field, we got Trey Compton. At shortstop, we actually are going to have Mcconnell. Starting in left field, we got Chris Hamilton, of course, with the game winner yesterday. Batting fourth and batting as the cleanup hitter and DHing is Griffin Dorsheen, apologize. First baseman is Mike Hale. Third baseman is Addison Coffey, of course, had a tank yesterday. In right field, we got Tyler Faymann. Behind the dish, Mike Hall. And at first base, we got Chandler Miller. Starting for the Xenia Scouts. In right field, we got Wright. And left field, we have Chandler Chambers. In center field, we got Graham Welch. So all the outfielders are starting the lineup for the Xenia Scouts. Over at first base, we got Caleb Eater. DHing and batting 5 is Regan. Behind the dish for the Scouts is Jarrett Lindsay. At third base is Ben Bills. At second base, we got Nick Tuttle. And the shortstop is Nora Orlando. But we're about to go for the national anthem, so we're going to take a short break, but stay tuned here because you're listening to the Hamilton Joes.
We can come back when
after the next Miller course. Ready? But he's about halfway, you said?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, 10.
Pitching from Xenia Scouts, watch is number 10, Stevenson.
We are back here at Grady's Field in Xenia, Ohio, where we're gearing up for the second game of the season. Actually, it's going to be my first game actually calling a baseball game. I have a little bit of experience calling other sports, and Zach Verdilla is going to be joining along right with it. His first game ever calling a baseball game was yesterday. How'd it go?
Sir, a little bit nerve-wracking to start, but you settle in. They just baseball.
Just talking about baseball. We've been doing it since we were young. And boy, am I excited. We got a little bit of a rivalry. Of course, these two teams are close in proximity, comparable to the rest of the Great Lakes League. I mean, they're all over Ohio, Indiana, and there's even a team in Canada now. But these two teams are just an hour split apart. There's really 4 teams in this little Southwest Ohio area. And these two teams have been getting at it recently. And what a better way to start the season than against a rival.
Yeah, they had a great one last night. It lived up to the hype as the Joes fell in the early 4-0 hole, and they were able to claw their way back, take the 7-4 lead. Got in a little trouble there with when it was tied up 7-7 with the bases loaded when Connor Bell came in and closed the door and was able to pitch 2 1/3 of an inning and pick up the win last night for the Joes.
Yeah. Well, it's a little overcast right now. I thought that we were going to be a little worried about some rain coming this way. I checked the forecast earlier today, and it looked like we were more than likely going to get some rain here in Xenia, but luckily for the Joes, the Scouts, and for us, and for you guys listening back home, this field is turf. Grady's Field, of course, beautiful facility here by Athletes in Action. So, rain or shine, we're going to get this game in. And the teams are getting ready to take the field as the warm-up hitters, or as the people are warming up and getting ready to hit. The pitchers are all warmed up, just trying to get on the field. They're looking like they're going to do a little field maintenance on the mound, which is pretty weird to say nonetheless, because it's a turf field.
Turf get worked on.
Yeah, just spreading out some of those seeds up. The field used to have a grass mound back in the day. I actually played a few ball games here, and it used to have a grass mound, but looks like they changed it back to turf, and that's what teams normally do. I mean, you're looking even at UC down there in Clifton and Cincinnati. They used to have actually dirt all around their turf, and just is much easier to take care of the field when it's just straight turf.
Yeah, and especially when you had a little bit of rain about an hour ago, not too bad, but even when it's sprinkling, you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to cover the field. Just get ready, wait it out, go play some baseball.
So Palmer Stevenson is now taking the mound and warming up. He's a lefty, and we've heard a little bit about him. He's actually ambidextrous as growing up, and he had some shoulder problems, and he's really trying to get through those shoulder problems and trying to gain some strength with this left arm. It's his first game of the year. It's high leg kick coming down there. A few innings, and I'm excited to see what this lineup does because, I mean, just from reading the box score about what happened last night, it looks like we're going to have some offensive firepower. So Palmer Stevenson's going to try and extinguish any of that.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see the Joes lineup. They got a little different look today. They've got Trey Compton starting and leading off. He did not play last night, but you knew he was a person that could possibly have leadoff potential. As last year at Elmhurst College, he had 344. So he had 344 with a 414 on base percentage. So you know he's someone who can get on base. Justin Mcconnell was the 9-hole last night. Showed that he could play. He went 3 for 3 with a couple of RBIs, and they moved him all the way up to 2-hole.
Now you mentioned the 414 on base percentage. So much of baseball is about how to build your lineup is you just keep throwing that fast guy up there, which you definitely want some speed at the top of that order, but more importantly, you want a guy that gets on base. We're actually seeing teams in the MLB switch to that a little more often. I mean, we even saw the Cubs last year putting big old Kyle Schwarber at the top of the order just because they knew he got on base a little bit, but they're going to try with Trey Compton, a speedy little guy, as you mentioned, about 344.
344 last year. Yes, sir.
Listed at 5'10" and $175, and we are geared up for the first pitch as he is stepping into the batter's box to face off against Palmer Stevenson. First pitch here, geared for 405, and Palmer Stevenson gets in the sign, and he winds and deals, and it's a ball up and away. 1-0 is our count. Started him off with a fastball there. He gets the sign coming back, and he goes right back at it, and Trey Compton takes a cut at it, and it's going up in the air over the second baseman territory, and they actually let that one fall. Bad job by the Xenia Scouts and the right fielder. The the right fielder who should have came and get that was right.
Yeah, you saw Nicholas Tuttle try to get out there and make the play while tracking backwards. Looked a little awkward there, and he just couldn't make the play.
Yeah, I mean, that's a right fielder's ball all day, every day. And for any time that there's a play like that, you want the outfielder to come in because it's much easier to come in on a ball than it is going back. So now stepping in is Justin McConnell. You mentioned batted 9-hole, but earned his way up to the 2-hole spot. And he takes a cut at the first pitch, and it's a strike. Swings and misses. Trey Compton over there at first base, taking his lead. Homer Stevenson working from the stretch, trying to get Justin McConnell out for the first time this season. He looks in, looking over at Compton, gets the sign, and he delivers. McConnell swings and misses at a ball way out of the zone, up near his eyes. Really just trying to be aggressive, and Palmer Stevenson have him right where he wants him. 0-2 is our count. Trey Compton taking a big lead over here as this is a curveball situation. Good time to get going. See if he goes. Stevenson, knowing it, picks off, steps off the back rubber, and just throws it on over to first.
We saw last night the scouts were throwing over to base runners, even in two-out situations, a lot yesterday. So see how that goes moving forward with
This
back-to-back pickoffs.
That time he tried the balk move. It was pretty easy to tell from here. He might have a better one up his sleeve. But he's given two different looks on pickoff moves already here in the first inning. He winds and delivers. And for the first time this season, Justin McConnell strikes out. He swings at 2 pitches out of the zone and takes a changeup down on the bottom end of the zone. And that is 1 out. Now coming up to the plate, we got Chris Hamilton, the savior from last night's Joe's game.
Hamilton had 5 at-bats yesterday and reached base 4 times with 2 hits, triple, a double. So he had the Joe's first hit of the season yesterday got sawed off, but sent one the other way for a double.
The lefty fouls one off his ankle there as he's wobbling out of his batter's box, trying to heal and that right ankle of his. Homer Stevenson has actually looked sharp here for the first 2 batters, at least getting a strikeout and getting an easy pop-up from Trey Compton. He's starting everyone off with a fastball, and why not the first time through the order?
Yeah, that 2-strike pitch he threw to McConnell had some zip on it. And I don't know if he didn't like the location, but McConnell laid off it.
It was a changeup near the bottom of the zone. For some reason, lefties always have better changeups, and I've never understood why, as he picks off over to Compton one more time. Everyone is safe. First baseman over there for the Scouts, getting a good workout in, trying to get that leather loose. It's Caleb Eater over there at first, and there comes another pickoff move from Palmer Stevenson. Safe all around. It's actually not even getting close, and Compton looks like he's getting a little annoyed over there at first. So, gets the sign, delivers the pitch, and there comes a base hit from Hamilton, and it's going into the gap. Compton's going to get easily to third, and we'll see if Hamilton tries to stretch it into a double. So it was a ground ball, but it did get into right center field. Just snuck right past the second baseman's glove, and we got first and third here with 1 out.
And with runners on the corners and 1 out, this is definitely a guy that you put in the cleanup spot for a reason, so he can get some chances like this early in the game.
Yeah, big Griffin Dorshing. Looks like, so I think the term was country strong. He's 6'4", 275 pounds. A sophomore from Northern Kentucky University. He's actually from Greendale, Wisconsin. I think he's lifting up some of the dairy cows up there in preparation for the season. So with 1 out here, Chris Hamilton got a single, and it was really the first good swing that we've seen on Palmer Stevenson yet today. But it is early. Here comes the first pitch, and it's a curveball in the turf.
You saw a lot of first pitch breaking balls in the dirt to Dorshing last night in his 5 at-bats.
Well, he's a imposing figure. It's so much of this sport is just the look of you. I mean, how you look, how you do things, and Griffin Dorsham definitely has the look of a cleanup hitter. Here comes the second pitch, and it's a strike on the low and outside corner. That's a heck of a pitch from Palmer Stevenson.
Might be a little bit of an adjustment for the Joes today, because last night home plate umpire Ron Arsberger was really leaving the outside call away, not really calling it too much.
So 1-1 is our count, and Hamilton goes for second. And Dorshing just gives it a check swing, and he's going to ground the ball out to the second baseman. When that will get a run across with Hamilton going in motion. No double play, and it's 1-0 here. The Joes early. Dorshing wasn't happy with that at bat. I mean, you never like to get out on a check swing, but he did do his job and get the run in. So now coming up to the plate is Mike Hale. Mike Hale from Kettering, Ohio, is a D3 player, 6'3", 185 pounds, right-handed. Went to Marietta, one of the national champions. I think they've won 8 national championships, and there's a slider on the outside corner.
And Hale's definitely shown that he can hit. He had 2 hits last night, 2 RBIs, a double. Also hit .319 last year in his junior year, but his freshman year in college hit .374.
Yeah, Marietta's they might be D3, but they're one of the premier D3 programs. They actually might be the most premier D3 program, as the second pitch of the at-bat is fouled off over the first base dugout. Yeah, the Marietta won national championships under legendary coach Don Shaley. Was there for, I think, dang near 200 years. 0-2 pitch is coming in to Hale. Fouls that one right back off the screen. So we've seen 3 pitches and 3 swings from Hale. Stevenson staying around the zone. We've seen that so far this game. And really, there should not be one run across because no one has had a good swing except for Chris Hamilton so far. Here comes Hale, 0-2. Wouldn't be surprised to see some up around his eyes. And there's a double there from Hale. He left that pitch right over the heart of the plate, and he's going to get a run in and go into second base, right down the third base line. Really wasn't hit all that hard, but placed beautifully as it just went right down the third base line and second base, and that was a mislocation from Stevenson.
Yeah, Hale taking advantage again. That's 2 games, 3rd RBI, 2nd double. He's had a hot start here for the Joes.
So a beautiful job at exploiting one of the early mistakes from Stevenson. I was mentioning, I think he wanted something up and away, the catcher did, but he left it right over the heart of the plate, and there's a curveball for a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, Stevenson's been pounding that outside corner pretty consistently so far.
So the 0-1 count here. So we mentioned the fastball to the first 3 hitters, and now that he's getting in a little bit of trouble, a lot more curveballs. And here comes another base hit. This time it's from Addison Coffey, and they're going to try and send him, and they're actually going to hold him back. But Addison Coffey doing a beautiful job at getting to second base on the bad throw from the center fielder. The center fielder just chucked it home because he thought that Hale was going to try and score. Coffey, because they missed the cut man, made it all the way to second base. So we got second and third with 2 outs here. Stevenson's in a world of trouble.
Tyler Faymann up at bat now. He's a Hamilton product. He goes to Miami University in Hamilton, plays for Dale Grissom for him, the GM of the Joes and father of current manager Adam Grissom.
So the first pitch is missing up. It's one of the rare times that Stevenson hasn't gotten the first strike. So 1-0 is our count. But even while getting ahead, it hasn't hurt these hitters' heads. There's already 4 hits in this first inning. Really, there's been 3. I wouldn't call that first ball hit in the air a hit by any stretch of the means. Didn't hit any leather, but it definitely was a play that should have been made. Just to think, this inning could be over if that first base runner didn't get on. It's funny how innings work like that. 1-1 is our count here with 2 outs, second and third. Winds and deals, and there's another curveball. So after missing with the fastball up, he's going back-to-back curveballs. This time hit on the inside part of the plate. That would have been a good pitch to rip at for Tyler Faymann. So 2-0 is our score, but a chance to put a world of hurt on these scouts in the first inning if Faymann can come through with 2 outs. And he swings at a curveball in the dirt after taking 2 straight curveballs in the zone, swings at one in the dirt, and finally Stevenson is out of the inning. And that marks the end of this first inning here. 2-0 is our score as we head to the bottom of the second where the scouts will take over.
Nice first inning.
That's a good first inning.
is number 11, Thacker. Please visit our concession stand for a cold drink or a
Play one more after this.
This one's 13 seconds. It's a short one. So I'll make sure this is good.
We are back here at Grady's Field in Xenia, Ohio, where the Joes got up 2-0 on a defensive misplay, then a couple timely hits, and like we said, another was hit too extremely hard. We didn't see any balls really sting off the end of the bat, just beautifully placed, and really the only mistake that Homer Stevenson made in that inning was not getting that first hitter out and then leaving that pitch up to Mike Hale, who ripped one down the line. And now we're going to see what Donovan Thacker can do for the Hamilton Joes.
Yeah, Donovan is Madonna U product. He only had 4 appearances last year, so it'd be nice to see him work in a starting role here.
The battery of Donovan Thacker and Mike Hall. Mike Hall's going to lead off the inning next time. I haven't seen him hit yet, but we'll see the lefty right come up and lead off for the Xenia Scouts. And just like last inning where he should have made a play in the outfield, he's got a chance to make it up for the Scouts here at the beginning of the game. Lefty, small in stature. Here comes the first pitch from Thacker as he winds and deals, and it's a fastball on the outside. 1-0 is the count. Thacker looking in, getting the sign, kicks back, and he deals. Here comes pitch 2, and it's a ground ball to the shortstop. And then comes the play on the run. Does not get the scoop, and Wright, who was trying to get the second base on the missed throw, slips up in the turf and is going to stay put at first base. That's a really tough play for Mcconnell out there, as he had to make that play on the run with the speed of Wright. He had to come in, make that one on the run, and over there at first base, the first baseman could not make the scoop, Mike Hale.
Yeah, this is Hale's first game at first base. We saw Dorshing over there yesterday, so and McConnell, that was his second error on the year. He had one last night. Both pretty tough plays had to come in on it. They would have been close anyway.
I don't even know if that's really can constitute as an error, as it was a tough play. And here comes a butt from the Scouts, a push bunt over the first base, and they're going to have a hit. That was beautifully placed by Chandler Chambers. And now it's first and second. We're seeing a lot more push bunts from just the way baseball is being played now. I mean, so often, so frequently, you would try and put one down the third base line, and now people are realizing there's kind of a little Bermuda Triangle over there between the first baseman and the pitcher, and it gets a little funky with the PFPs, pitcher fielding practice over there. And beautifully timed bunt and beautifully placed bunt by Chandler Chambers. And now coming up is the last outfielder, Graham Welch, the center fielder, the lefty, coming up with first and second and no one out. And he's going to take a ball. 1-0 is our count. The official scorer gave an error to the Joes, to McConnell, and there comes a curveball from Donovan Thacker, and you could tell that there was a bit of a cross-up by two ways. First off, the catcher's going out to talk to him, and then second off, he was coming up like it was a heater, and he had to come back down for the ball breaking back down to earth. Lucky for that, it was a beautiful pitch by Thacker, and those really don't mess up. It's when you call the curveball and the fastball, that's when it gets dangerous.
Yeah, the beginning of the season might have a few more mound visits than you would see, as we saw a handful of them last night.
So, ball given the sign to Thacker, trying to get the first out of the inning. 1-1 is our count. Gonna call that a strike. Hall even brought that one back in the strike zone, trying to wouldn't say frame, but trying to bring it back to sell the strike, and it worked as they got the strike call. Looked a bit outside from up here in the press box, but no, everything's about perspective. 1-2 is our count, and they're going to go trying to steal third base, and there's going to be a ball hit to the second baseman, and it looks like it's going to be beautifully placed again for another infield single. The first baseman, Hale, looked like he was going to go to second base, and it didn't even matter because Thacker couldn't get over to first base in time. So we got the bases juiced here in the first inning as the scouts are knocking on something. So they could say we got 4 waffles and a 3-way toaster and a few hard-boiled eggs short of a continental breakfast now with no one out in the first. Like that?
I do, yeah. That was a good one. Enjoyed that one. And it's a little flashbacks to last night. As they had base loaded, they put up 4 runs in the first inning. So
we mentioned yesterday was an offensive showing, and today it's looking like the exact same, but beautifully placed balls as the first pitch to Caleb Eater is swung at and missed. Fastball in the bottom of the zone.
It'll be interesting to see Eater at the plate today, as he was our starting pitcher last night. Never saw him bat. He pitched a couple innings, but then ended up getting the no decision.
Caleb Eater with a second big old hearty hack at the ball. Eater's a big fella up there. Trying to look, he's 6'2", 220 pounds. He's a senior at Indiana Wesleyan University. 0-2 is the count as Thacker is 1 strike away from getting his first out of the inning. Fastball up. Eater was smart enough and wise enough to take that one. Might see a freshman swing at that one, but not a senior. Eater, 1-2 count here. Now I'm going to go ahead and say that after the fastball up, here comes a breaking pitch down. See if I'm right. Catcher setting up on the inside part of the plate. Here comes the pitch, and it's a fastball on the inside, and we got a chance to make a double play here. And another defensive misplay as a run comes across there for the third baseman. Coffee, I mean, it was the standard. I mean, it's the ground ball that a catcher dreams about, because not very often is a catcher going to make that 1-2 or the 5-2-3 double play or 1-2-3 double play. I mean, it was just a slow chopper hit right to Coffee, and Coffee couldn't get out of his glove quick enough to go home, so then he decided to go over to first and threw it high, but luckily him, the tall first baseman, had to come off the bag, or else that could have been dangerous. It's 2-1 here in the bottom of the first with no one out. Comes the pitch, and there's a ground ball, and if they can't make 2 here, oh no, it is 6-4-3 double play, and it's a 2-2 score with 2 outs now. So
beautiful double play there by McConnell and Miller, who we didn't see Chandler Miller at all yesterday, but he was pretty good on that double play.
So the score should be 2-2 now. Off of not 1 ball leaving the infield.
Feels a lot like yesterday.
2-2 is the count. Swung at and missed. Ball's on the outside corner. And Ben Biller, excuse me, I think it's actually Jarrett Lindsey. Yeah, Jarrett Lindsey, the catcher. Swung at and missed, was hacking there. And he hits a ground ball to the second baseman, backhand, routine play. And that ends the inning for Donovan Thacker as he gives up 2 runs on not 1 ball leaving the infield. Of course, we had the questionable hit air to lead off the inning, the bunt, the Bermuda Triangle ball over to the first baseman, another air. I mean, not 1 ball left in the entire inning. We're knotted up at 2-2. Well, that's the end of the first inning here at Grady's Field. We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Hamilton Joes Network.
Can you hear the commercials?
Play one more after this. We are back here at Grady's Field here in Xenia, Ohio. 2-2 is our score as Donovan Thacker's better half. Mike Hall steps up to the plate. The catcher, batting 8-hole today. Slightly open stance. He's going to get the first pitch of the inning from Palmer Stevenson, and it's going to be a ball down, fastball low. We're going to see if Stevenson can settle in here as he gave up 4 hits in the first inning, really just 3. And there comes a base hit from Mike Hall as he goes to the opposite field. A line drive that sneaks right past the second baseman's glove. So we got a runner on first here, and the second inning starting the same way as the first, as Mike Hall is able to get on first base. We're going to see if Chandler Miller is going to be bunting here to lead off I mean, he's the 9-hole. We got the top of the order coming up. Let's see if let him swing away. Though bunting might not be the best selection here because it seems like it's going to be a high-scoring game, just depending on how that first inning is. But got to set up runs when they can happen, as the first pitch is called for a strike, and he was showing bunt there as the third baseman was coming in. See if he swings away now.
We saw Adam Grissom last night in the 8th inning utilize the sac bunt that ultimately Chris Hamilton tripled and drove that run in.
There's a foul ball on a curveball off the screen. Yeah, but I think the wiser decision was to hit here. Like I said, it's going to be a high-scoring game. At least it appears that way. 2-2, 4 runs scored in the first inning alone. Sometimes you just got to let them swing away. And there comes a ground ball. Maybe I was wrong because it looks like it's going to be a routine double play as they cannot get it. They get the out at second base, but luckily enough, Chandler Miller was quick enough to beat it out as he hit the ball, a ground ball to the third baseman who turned it over to second. But Chandler Miller beat it out. Now we got the top of the order coming.
Yeah, it looks like Miller has some speed on him there as he beat that one out fairly easily. Didn't make it too close for him.
So now coming back up to the plate is Trey Compton, who I'm sure is happy to get his second at-bat already in the second inning. Stevenson winding. There's a curveball down in the turf, but luckily the catcher was able to block it up and keep it right in front of him. Count is 1-0. Stevenson looking over down at his catcher for the sign, and Compton was actually looking over to Adam Grissom for the sign himself. Here comes the pitch. Fastball up. 2-0 is now our count. Trey Compton, good count to hit in now. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a hit and run type action going on here. Leadoff hitter, got some speed on first base. 2-0 count, more likely going to see a fastball. If not, it's going to be 3-0 regardless. And there comes a fastball at the bottom of the zone, but it is called for a strike by the home plate umpire. 2-1 is now the count. Now, if you're really going to hit and run, 2-1 is pretty typical the count to do it.
And with some speed with Miller on first, I wouldn't be surprised to see him moving at some point.
A shorter sign from Adam Grissom. This time, Stevenson looking like he's known something up. Baseball IQ on the Stevenson is smart. This would be the time for some action. You can almost sense it. It's like a fog sitting around when something's going to happen. Pitchers pick up on that. So 2-1 is the count, and there's nothing going, and it looks like it's going to be a ground ball to second baseman. They throw it over to short. Smooth turn, and they're able to get the out at first base, and that's a fantastic double play as the shortstop, Noah Orlando, made that look so smooth there to end the inning, and just like that, maybe it was the right time to go to hit and run because you send them going, all of a sudden that whole right side of the infield opens up and that double play doesn't have me at first and third. Not saying I'm a genius, but I think I might be. As we head into the break, going into the bottom of the second inning, 2-2 is our score here at Grady's Field. We are back here at Grady's Field. It's going to be the bottom of the second inning, and the Scouts are looking to try and take the lead as we're going to see the third baseman, Ben Bills, lean in against Donovan Thacker. Ben Bills going to get the first pitch from Thacker this inning, and it's a fastball at the bottom of the zone. 0-1 is the count. Ben Bills, listed as a pitcher, 6'1", from Nyack College. It's from York, Pennsylvania. There's a curveball in the turf, blown away. Hall was able to lock that one up. It's good effort with no one on and not 2 strikes. Hall not letting anything get by him. As Thacker peers in for the sign. Hall setting up on the inside part of the plate, and there comes a fastball. And it's going to look like it's going to be a base hit over to right field, but it's just a line drive right to the right fielder in the first out of the inning.
From what I picked up so far being in Hamilton, Tyler Faymann seems to be a defensive stud out there in right field.
Yeah, it was a line drive right at him. I mean, it was hit very hard there by Ben Bills, but sometimes it's not about how hard you hit it, it's about where you place it. So stepping into the box is Nick Tuttle. Nick Tuttle, who started the double play that ended the top of the second inning, takes the first pitch for a strike from Thacker. Thacker getting back on the rubber. 0-1 is our count with 1 out. 2-2 our score here at Grady's Field. Second pitch of the bat is also going to be a strike. 2 fastballs to start off the Tuttle. Tuttle didn't like either one of them. Hasn't offered at 1. He's got the 8-hole second baseman, Nick Tuttle, right where he wants him. Shakes off the pitch from Mike Hall. Mike Hall setting up on the outside. Fastball right on the outside, and it looked like it was going to be called for a strike for a second there. But Hall just threw it right back. It was nothing.
Yeah, you've seen both pitchers get that call a couple times today. See if we can get it next time.
Hall was set up outside, so it doesn't help the at least perspective of where the pitch comes in, and he strikes out there on a fastball. So Tuttle saw 4 fastballs and didn't offer at one of them, as there's the second out of the inning. Now coming up to the plate is the other half of the middle infield, the shortstop Noah Orlando.
We saw Noah Orlando last night. Struck out 4 times, wants to end the game. So see if
he's smooth out there at shortstop as he swings and misses at the first pitch. 0-1 is our count. Noah Orlando, the shortstop, trying to get off the schneid this season. Second pitch coming in. He lines it foul over to the first baseman, and right fielder Tyler Thaman's going to have to get that one out of the field of plays. It bounced off the batting cage here at Grady's Field. Faymann doctoring up the ball behind home plate legally. I don't think there's any bottle caps in his glove. He can scuff it up. 0-2 is our count with 2 outs. Donovan Thacker peering in. Hall wants a fastball up. He gives it to him, but Orlando does not offer at it.
That's a good 0-2 pitch there when you got a guy who last night you saw struck out 4 times. Might as well throw one up and out of the zone, see if he can chase it.
Let's see if he goes something soft, low and away now, because that's where his Hall's setting up. And no, he stays with a fastball, and he misses his spot and goes inside. 2-2 now our count. We're seeing a fastball-heavy approach to the bottom of this Scouts order. He did throw a lot of pitches in that first inning. Doesn't help him to throw a lot of breaking stuff there. If you want to last longer in this game, got to throw some straight ones. So here comes, as he winds and deals, the 2-2 pitch. It's going to be a ground ball right to the first baseman, and that ends the inning. So the second inning, a lot quieter than the first, as that gets it all the way through the order, both sides. 2-2 still our count. We'll be right back here. You're listening to the Hamilton Jones Network. And we're getting back here at Grady's Field here in Xenia, Ohio. Score is still 2-2. Top of the third as we're going to have a new pitcher in for the Scouts. Looks like I cannot see his number, but it's a righty, and I guess they saw enough of Palmer Stevenson. It's Diego Quinones from Bronx, New York. He goes to Mercy College. We've heard a lot from the other broadcaster about this guy's arm, and just from watching him warm up, it looks like he's got some electric stuff as they're already going to him in the third inning, and he's definitely got some velo on it as Justin McConnell's looking into what could be his death sentence out there at the plate.
Yeah, we definitely heard a lot about Quinones' fastball as we're told it gets up to mid-90s.
Yeah, it jumps out of his hand. It's really just a live, loose arm action coming from him. A really long action from the righty. Not a whole lot of effort, just easy with it. And he's ready to throw. He's getting 8 pitches to warm up and didn't throw a whole lot of strikes we saw. And that's how the case for a lot of these fireballers are. They throw hard, but not exactly sure where it's going sometimes.
It'd definitely be interesting to see. They're going to him fairly early here, pulling the starter after 2 innings. Last inning wasn't too bad for him. Got a couple of double play ground balls. One was converted, but looks like they had seen enough.
So here comes the first pitch from Quinones, and it almost nicks the jersey of Justin McConnell. 1-0 is the count. Here's the second pitch, and that's coming right up near McConnell's face again. As the first 2 pitches lived up to the expectations from a fireballer, and they're wild. He's trying to get back into the zone here.
It's always fun to see someone coming out here throwing like that, and then first couple pitches and completely different.
Oh yeah, you look at get in the on-deck circle and you see a dude throwing hard, and everywhere you're just like, well, I might die today. As Quinones winds and delivers for the first strike of the inning. 2-1 now the count. Fastball at the top of the zone. And he looks like he's easily touching 90 from up here. Do not have the radar gun in hand, but here comes the 2-1 count, and it's going to be a little bleeder into center field that will not fall. Looked like it might for a second, but the center fielder, Welch, was right there. Graham Welch came in and tracked it perfectly, and I thought we might have a broken bat with just how it was sawed off, but it looks like it's still playable. That's the first out of the inning. After going 2-1, he gets the first out.
It's definitely the risk you're going to be taking, swinging at a fastball inside from Quinones.
Yeah, if I was him, I'd be eating lumber all day as they're trying to stay away from the lefty Chris Hamilton. First ball is a ball. Here comes the second pitch. And he thinks about bunting, and he does lay one down, but it looks like he's going to go foul just ever so slightly. A nice idea from Chris Hamilton, but unsuccessful in practice. So 1-1 is our count now. He's coming back into the box, trying to catch his breath now. Any way you can get on, especially those lefties, they like to lay one down, get a few extra steps, and it's just easier to turn and get it going than the righty out of the box. So Chris Hamilton still third baseman for the Scouts, still playing back as one. Actually, it's 0-2 count now. I apologize. The first pitch was a strike. And there's a slider from Quinones that made Chris Hamilton look silly right there. That thing was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, that first pitch was a little outside. It looked from up here, but umpire's been a little consistent with that pitch, so called it a strike and came with the breaking ball that you didn't expect.
And that was a tight slider right now, and I think the reason it made Hamilton look so silly is because it looks so much like his fastball with the spin barely being able to be seen and just snaps off at the end, and Chris Hamilton looked like a spinning top up there. And now coming in is the big boy, Griffin Dorshing, as he takes the first pitch, a slider over the heart of the plate. 0-1 is our count. Quinones, second pitch, up and in. He's got a mentality out there that I like on the mound, Quinones does. I mean, he throws that pitch and immediately wants the ball back. He's giving it right back to you. Works with the tempo. And that normally comes with a competitive spirit. You got to be that way if you're going to be a pitcher. I mean, you control the entire game out there, and if you don't have that competitive fire, you might as well just sit yourself on the bench.
Yeah, Dorshing fouled that one off, and Quinones was already basically on the dirt by the time the ump gave the catcher the ball. He was ready to pitch again.
1-2 is our count here from Quinones, and it's a slider, but Dorshing grounds it over to the third baseman. That's the end of the inning. So, quick work of the Joes that makes Quinones. That's a good inning here. Strikeout, pop-out, strikeout, ground out. Does all three outcomes here. And we're headed to the bottom of the third inning for the Hamilton Joes and the Scout side. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Hamilton Joes Network. We are back here at Grady's Field inside of Xenia, Ohio, where we're going to see the top of the order go for the Xenia Scouts as Donovan Thacker is trying to keep this game right where it's at, 2-2 here in the bottom of the third. We saw a good inning from Diego Quinones as the Scouts weren't afraid to go early to their bullpen. 2-2 is our score. And we got some sunshine shining through on our little ball game right now as it's definitely getting warmer out here. Donovan Thacker's first pitch is fouled off back to the screen. 0-1 is our count. But yeah, like I said earlier, it looked overcast, didn't look like a good day for a baseball game, but now it's beautiful out. There's a few clouds in the sky. It must be hot out there on that turf, but we got a slight breeze going. 0-1 is our count from Thacker. He delivers it. It's going to be a fastball called for a strike. A beautiful pitch from Thacker on the inside. Wright even had to turn, trying to take one off his back, but just beautifully placed by Thacker. Rembrandt painting the corner.
And Wright's not afraid to crowd that plate.
Yeah, his back foot is telling the line as they try to go with the fastball outside. 1-2 is our count. Yeah, his back foot for the lefty is telling the line. It's actually right on top of the line. A few more inches forward, he'd be out of the batter's box. 1-2 is our count. The righty facing the lefty tries to go with a curveball on the outside. Cannot get it to go. A little backdoor action. 2-2 is our count. Now he's going to come at him. It's an old adage. Don't throw on 2-2 what you can't throw on 3-2. So let's see if Thacker goes right at him. Here comes the payoff pitch. 2-2 is our count. It's going to be a base hit right up the middle. I had second thought. Justin McConnell makes a nice play. He's playing right up the middle, but was late to the throw to first base. So it was still a hit. I was right on the initial call from right. Base hit right up the middle. Hit really well, but McConnell was quick with the glove, but he couldn't find it out of his glove, deliver it quick enough. And Wright, of course, got those wheels getting down to first base. So just like he did in the first inning, bottom of the first, Wright leads off and getting on base, just what a leadoff hitter should do.
It was a great play to his glove side there by McConnell, and great throw, almost got him, but leadoff hitter Wright was able to leg down one out.
We saw Chandler Chambers bunt his first at bat. We'll see what he does this time, and he actually grounds the ball to second base. It's 4. There's the 6. And McConnell ends up just eating it over there at second base as it was a slow delivery to McConnell from the second baseman. So they only get one on the play as that was almost tailor-made double play, but a little slow on the initial delivery to the second base. And there's one out with the runner on first base and Graham Welch coming up to the plate.
McConnell wise enough not to throw that one over, realizing that probably was going to beat it out anyway.
Yeah, Chambers definitely going to beat that out. And here comes another chance for a double play as it goes 4-6. McConnell giving everything he had over there to the third or first base, and he gets the out, getting us out of the inning. A beautiful inning from Thacker after giving up the ground ball on the to lead off the inning from right. He got 2 better ground balls to the second baseman and probably only threw about 6 pitches that inning. So we'll be right back here. It's the top of the 4th. Getting ready up for the top of the 4th. We're 1/3 of the way through the game. 2-2 is our score here in Xenia, Ohio. You're listening to the Jones Network. We are back here at Grady's Field inside Xenia, Ohio, where we have Mike Hall, the first baseman, leading off this inning for the Joes, trying to figure out Diego Quinones, who had a very impressive first inning on the hill, making quick work of the heart of the Joes lineup in Justin McConnell, Chris Hamilton, and Griffin Dorshing, the real 3 big bats you got to worry about in this Joes lineup. And now the lanky Mike Hale, apologize, can't call him Hall, Mike Hale, coming up to the plate, the righty, facing off against Diego Quinones. Takes a fastball for a strike on the inside part of the plate. 0-1 is now our count. Hale stepping back in. Diego not breaking his concentration, looking at the catcher, and here comes the second pitch, and it's a fastball on the outside, and it's going to be called a ball. 1-1 is our count here. 1-1, 2-2 is our score here in the top of the 4th inning. This pitch comes in, and it almost hits Hale. Hale just trying to get that hip out of the way. 2-1 is now our count. A good hitting situation for Hale. Even better if he can lay off another ball here. Here comes the pitch coming in, and it's a fastball that is fouled back to the screen. Actually went over the backstop here. 2-2 now our count. Fastball in the upper part of the plate. It was a good pitch to swing at, but couldn't make good contact there. 2-2 is our count. Here comes the pitch, the delivery from Quinones, and he hits, actually doesn't hit, it was a slider that went behind Hale's back. It looked like it might have hit off his foot or something, but I guess it just bounced off the turf hard. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that clipped the home plate umpire after completely missing Hale behind his back, coming back around and clipping the ump, maybe the catcher, who knows.
It's pretty hard to get as much break as Quinones just got on that curveball when you throw it so far out of the zone. There comes a fastball on the 3-2 count that is grounded out to the second baseman, and there's the first out of the inning. Mike Hale hustling down the first base, nonetheless, almost beat it out at the second baseman, Nick Scuttle.
It's not too easy to stay in the box there for the next pitch after you've seen a slider like that go behind your back.
We saw a fastball come up near his hip as well. It's hard to stay in the box, especially if he's throwing you away. It's hard to stay in there. I mean, you might be able to yank one off on the inside. And now stepping up to the plate is Addison Coffey. Coffey takes the first pitch for a strike.
RBI single on the day earlier for Coffey, looking to keep that hot start up.
Addison Coffey, a sophomore at Arizona State University, coming to Hamilton Joes, and as the second pitch is called a ball, the count is 1-1 now. The old head coach, the head coach of Arizona State, used to live in Hamilton. Tracy Smith, who's currently the head coach there now, used to be the head coach at Miami, Oxford, and he lived in Hamilton on the west side of the river. Foundation Field where the Joes plays on the east side of the great Miami. 2-1 is our count. Diego looking into the dugout for signs for some reason. And now the catcher's going to go out and talk to him. A little meeting of the battery here. It's a 2-1 count. He's looking out to the shortstop. I think there might have been a mix-up on the last call.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Quinones just looked like he kept licking his fingers and wasn't sure what the umpire was trying to tell him, so they had the catcher go out there, and it looks like it's all figured out now.
He might have been telling, if he was licking his fingers, he might have been telling him to rub it off your hands because you're not allowed going from your mouth to the ball. And there's a pop-up in the infield right around the third baseman as Addison Coffey easily just pops on out there to the third baseman. And that's 2 outs in the inning, and Diego Quinones is looking just as sharp in the second inning as he did in the first. Now stepping up to the plate, Tyler Faymann, the Hamilton Joe's product from Miami Hamilton.
Yeah, it's good to see Faymann back. He missed all last summer with an injury. He played on the 16 Joe's team that won the championship, so you see some familiar faces back.
So here comes the first pitch from Faymann. Swings and misses. Yeah, 2 years ago, I mean, these teams change year to year, so it's really hard to get a powerhouse. But yeah, the Joes won 2 years ago, beat the Lima Locos in the finals. And really, from what I hear, those two teams, the Joes and the Locos, are two of the teams that draw the biggest crowds day after day.
Now we got Faymann taking off his batting gloves mid-at-bat.
I guess he didn't like the grip that the bat had, not enough pine tar on it. So now he's taking off for a little more grip. 0-2 is the count. And he swings and misses at a naughty slider from Diego Quinones in another quick inning from the righty from Bronx, New York. And that makes quick work of the Hamilton Joes. Score is still 2-2 as we're going to see coming up in the bottom of the fourth inning here. We're going to see the heart of the order 4, 5, and 6. Caleb Eater's going to lead off for the Xenia Scouts. You're listening to the Hamilton Joes Network. We are back here at Grady's Field inside of Xenia, where it's 2-2 is the score here, and now it's going to be the bottom of the fourth as Donovan Thacker has put a modest game together so far after a rough first inning. Let's see if he can keep it going against the middle of the Xenia Scouts order. The first baseman, Caleb Eater, is leading off. First pitch from Thacker as he winds and delivers is a fastball low. 1-0 is now the count. Haven't seen a whole lot of action since that first inning. We've seen 5 straight scoreless sides. So we're trying to make it the third straight scoreless frame. The 0-1 pitch is swung at and missed low. I guess they called the first pitch a ball. 1-1 is our count. 2-2 our score. As it stayed the same since 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. Donovan Thacker's 1-1 pitch coming in, and it's a curveball that is tapped right in front of the mound. Fields it and throws it on over to Hale. Hale getting the first out of the inning. A lot of putouts over there for Mike Hale today.
Although that was a little chopper back to the pitcher there, it had some funky spin on it, so it was a nice play by Thacker to field it cleanly and get it over to first base in time.
Yeah, it was hit right off the end of the bat on a Thacker slider. Good pitch by Thacker, and yeah, you're right. Normally the thing about playing on turf that you love is you get the true hop, but Thacker, a little tilt on that spin, and it was just kind of it's like trying to catch a rabbit out there, just bouncing around. So we're 1 out through the bottom of the fourth. And stepping into the box is Regan. Regan, the DH, picking up the hitting duties as he takes the first pitch for a strike.
See a lot of reactions like that from hitters getting that inside pitch called, not liking it too much.
So 0-1 is our count. Yeah, we don't have pitch track up here, but it does seem like some of those are missing, and that's a base hit through the right side of the infield. I think that might be the Scouts' first ball put outside of the infield today. I'm just looking up. I guess there was the line out to the right fielder in the second inning, but other than that, that's just the second ball put out there, and that's a base hit from Regan. And now there's a runner on first base with 1 out. Stepping up to the plate is the other half of the battery for the Scouts, Jared Lindsay. Batting 6-hole, the right-handed hitter, who hails from Upland, California, all the way from the West Coast. Goes to Point Loma Nazarene University, come play for the Scouts. First pitch is fouled off to the right side of the field. 0-1 is our count.
I feel like you'll see a lot more diversity, at least the hometowns of the Xenia Scouts, than you see with the Joes. A lot of the Joes you see are around at least
Cincinnati,
the area that
guys,
the league is in. Yeah, you see some California, some New York, all over the place for the Scouts.
Athletes in Action is able to draw a much bigger crowd. It's a pretty big organization. The second pitch is fouled off, just like the first pitch. 0-2 is our count, but you're absolutely right. I mean, just looking, see Bronx, New York, Dallas, just a whole bunch of people coming from the Xenia Scouts. But then you get some hometown boys like the one that goes to Ohio State Lima, who's actually from Mason, Ohio. So 0-2 is our count. Here comes the pitch. And it's a ground ball to the second base. Let's see if they can turn 2. They get the first out at second base. McConnell turns it so smooth. And just like that, I mean, that was just a smooth turn from McConnell. It was like butter melting on some flapjacks right there as we get out of the 4th inning unscathed. We're going to head to the top of the 5th inning. The score is still 2-2 for the Hamilton Joes. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Hamilton Joes Network. We are back here at Grady's Field in Xenia, Ohio, where the Xenia Scouts are going to another pitcher here, Will Wentz, the right-hander. Don't have a lot on the roster about him, but I think the whole idea from the Scouts right now is to keep low-inning work here to a piece, really, just to see what they got here early on in the season, because, like I said, a lot of these players haven't really seen them play before, and you're throwing them out in the league. You got to know what you got early on. And Will Wentz has shown a lot of a curveball right now, but yeah, 2 innings apiece. Diego Quiona has really impressed me with his 2 innings of work. 2 Ks, didn't allow 1 base runner, I believe, and really showed no signs of weakness there.
Yeah, and we saw 4 pitchers last night for the Scouts. Got the 3rd already today, so they'll definitely get a look at their pitchers early on here.
So Mike Hall stepping up to the plate for the Hamilton Joes. And you actually see him, this whole bullpenning attack, kind of trying to get into the mainstream. On MLB Network, there's, of course, Brian Kenny, who's been a supporter of bullpenning, as they call it, using pitchers like pretty much like they're all relief pitches. The first pitch is a miss low and away to Mike Hall. But yeah, I mean, for really 5 decades in a row, the relief pitchers have better ERAs than starting pitchers, so why not work every pitcher like a relief pitcher? Second pitch is fouled off
See the
back to the
Rays
screen.
leading the way in that with Sergio Romo being a popular opener.
Yeah.
They call him instead of starting the game.
Yeah, using an opener, as they call it, just for one inning to work. Because really, if you think about it, the first inning as the third pitch misses up and in. If you think about it, the first inning is really the only inning where the manager gets to completely create the lineup how he wants it to go. So why not try to combat that with a guy whose specialty is getting one innings of work, and like a seventh inning guy like Sergio Romo, as the count is now 3-1. Good count for Mike Hall to hit in, especially if say you're starting your intended starting pitcher is a left-handed pitcher, and you got a bunch of pitcher, 3 right-handed powerhouses coming up to start the inning as the fifth pitch is fouled off here. Why not do it? And it looks like the scouts are using that to advantage here as Will Wentz has a full count to Mike Hall. Here comes the payoff pitch, and it is lined foul. So Mike Hall's getting a little good of an at-bat here, as that is pitch number 6. We're getting ready to see pitch number 7. He puts the ball in play here. Be a quality at-bat as the shortstop's shading over near the third baseman. A little shift going on, and he hits it right up the middle for a base hit. It's funny that I mentioned the shortstop being shaded right up there when he hits it right smack dab up the middle for a single. And I absolutely predict Adam Grissom to bunt Chandler Miller here to start this fourth inning. Like I said, in the second inning when this same situation happened, by the way, Mike Hall is 2 for 2. In the second inning when this situation happened, we said, hey, let's let Chandler Miller hit. This seems like it'll be a high-scoring game. Well, there hasn't been a whole lot of base runners since that first inning, so why not put one into scoring position for Trey Compton? Here comes the pitch from Chandler Miller. He takes it high, fastball up. 1-0 is the count.
We saw Miller beat out that double play last time, so you know he has some speed, so if he does lay one down,
Well,
he can turn that sack bunt into a hit.
We saw the scouts do that in the first inning. They just did a little push bunt for a base hit and got first and second. Second pitch is taken for a strike. Looked a little softer there, a little low on the count, so maybe Adam Grissom was giving him a swing, but now with one strike, we'll see if the bunt is going to be on. It looked like he was looking down the third base line a little longer. He's creeping up in the box just a little ever so slightly. We might see something here. Pitch comes in, and no, he's not going to be bunting, but the ball is in the turf for the second ball. 2-1 is the count. So we were just talking about bullpenning. Another advancement in baseball is really the removal of the bunt. I mean, if you look at number-wise as the 2-1 pitch is getting ready to come in here, it is swung at, and he fouls it right off his ankle there. The count is 2-2 with no one out. It's 2-2 our score. 2-2 is our score. Still, and that is the count right now. But yeah, you see this in the MLB where it's actually you score more runs with a runner on first base and no one out than with a runner on second base with one out, more often than not. But it is more likely that you at least get one run across. As the count is now full. So Will Wentz having to use a lot of pitches here in his first inning of work. Count juice, runner on first base. 2-2 our count. See Chandler Miller comes with the payoff pitch here. And it is hit hard over the first baseman. They go to the second base for the first out. And then it's coming back and it overthrows the pitcher rushing over to first base. So not a double play there. Would have been a hard one to turn as the first baseman, Caleb Eater, had to throw that one over to the second baseman. And then you had to see Will Wentz hustle his way on over to first base. Just a high throw from the shortstop.
Maybe not the result you'd want in an at-bat like that, still having a runner on first. But so back-to-back batters able to push full counts, working a little bit. And that's nice to see after Quinones came in and made quick work of the Joes.
Yeah, you want to see, really from the bottom of the order, you want to see some guys, table setters as they call them, for the top of the order coming up. But if you're able to make a guy sweat a little bit, that can help too, as Will Wentz is already 15 pitches deep through just 2 batters. He throws a 12-6 curve that broke too late, they're saying, as it's a 1-0 count now. It was definitely there. They're saying it broke a little late. 1-0 is now the count for Trey Compton, who's got on from a measly little pop-up in the first inning, and the second inning grounded into a double play, which actually killed it. So 2-0 is now the count. As we're getting to the tough part of the Joes lineup coming up next with Justin McConnell, Chris Hamilton, and Griffin Dorjan. Compton lines one foul. Count is now 2-1. One out here in the top of the fifth. We're halfway through this ball game. We saw a lot of action in the first inning, and really we've been cruise control since then. And we mentioned how the bottom of the order was able to get these deep counts, but when a team's using a pitcher 2 innings at a time, and there's going to be a wild pitch from Will Wentz and went through the 5-hole of the catcher. Don't want to call that a pass ball because it was in the turf, but it did just sneak right through that 5-hole of the catcher. So now there's a runner on second base with 1 out, and it's almost as good as a bunt from Chandler Miller now. Trey Compton coming up. 3-1 is the count. Good hitting count for the leadoff hitter. Pitcher Will Wentz winds, deals, and it looks like it might stay fair enough, but it just sneaks its way foul as he lines one to the right side. He hit that ball well as it went all the way out to the warning track there on the right side of the field. Full count now. It's the third batter in a row to work a full count against Will Wentz, but like we said, what's it matter when he's going 2 innings of work?
Yeah, you see you got a couple of people just stretching out in the Scouts bullpen right now. Not throwing yet, but maybe getting ready for not the next inning, but the inning after.
The one thing that I have noticed about Will Wentz, more than the other pitchers, is his ability to go to the breaking pitch, really in any count, as he throws a curveball there on a full count. He threw a full count curveball to Chandler Miller as well, the ball he grounded out on, or grounded into a fielder's choice, as Trey Compton comes on up with the full count once again. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. Chandler Miller's going over to third base, and the throw is out over to the first baseman. So that's 2 outs, and here Justin McConnell's going to come up with a chance to take the lead for the Hamilton Joes. 2 outs, runner on third base.
See if McConnell can do a little bit of what he did last night. 3 for 3 with a double, 2 RBIs. He came in to score the game-winning run after Chris Hamilton's triple in the 8th. So see if he can bring this run in.
He actually struck out looking to Palmer Steventon in the first inning, and then got jammed his second at bat. And there's a curveball blown away. Actually looked more like a slider, a little more tilt. So 1-0 is our count. Top of the fifth now. 2 outs. The Joes have 2 runs on 6 hits and 1 error, while the Scouts have 2 runs on 5 hits and no errors. They're going to call that one a strike as another breaking pitch to McConnell. 1-1 now the count. Back-to-back breaking pitches looks like they're not going to give him a whole lot to hit with first and second base open. Here comes Will Wentz as he comes set. Steps off the backside of the rubber. He wants a different sign. He's peering in to the catcher. Comes set. 1-1 is our count with 2 outs here as the pitch comes in, and it's another slider for a strike. 1-2.
Seen a heavy dose of breaking balls so far from Wentz in this 2/3 of an inning.
Well, they've learned their lesson from Justin McConnell after he went 3 for 3 yesterday with a double. Comes set on the 1-2 count, and there's another breaking pitch that McConnell almost offered at. It was in the turf. 2-2 our count. He opted not to. The sliders sometimes can be so tough to lay off of in the dirt. They break so late, look like they're going to be right there, especially if you're an eager hitter, and they just fall right out. And now the umpire is signaling something to the dugout, the Joes dugout, to keep people in the dugout, I guess. People sneaking their way out of here. 2-2 the count with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. Line foul right over to the batting cages out there in right field. And they're giving, the middle infield for the Scouts is giving a wide open hole for McConnell. And we saw this actually earlier too with Mike Hall was up where both the second baseman's pinching to the first base and the shortstop's pinching over near the third baseman. So right up the middle is open for McConnell. He swings and misses at a ball in the turf, and they're going to try and score here. But with 2 outs, it is all for naught as McConnell is thrown out there, and he actually didn't see one fastball that entire at-bat. And nothing but sliders from Will Wentz, and Will Wentz able to work out of the inning that he went full count on nearly every single batter and gave up a leadoff hit. You don't see that too often. As we're going to head to the bottom of the 5th, the scouts part of the 5th, the score still locked at 2-2. You're listening to your Hamilton Joe's Network. We are back here at Grady's Field in Xenia, Ohio, where the count is still set at 2-2 here in midway through the game. Ben Bills coming up to the plate, the losing pitcher from yesterday's contest. He's actually got the start at third base today. Is peering in against Thacker. Takes the first pitch for a strike. 0-1 our count. So far today, he is lined out to the right fielder. So second at bat. Comes the pitch, and it's a ground ball to the second baseman. He scoops that one up and throws it on over to Mike Hale for the first out.
Yeah, Thacker really settled in after that, giving up 2 runs in the first inning. I mean, he's not even 2 times through the whole lineup. Still had the 8 and 9 hitter coming up, so they're making quick work.
And it wasn't like they were really just hammering him in that first inning either. Like we mentioned, they didn't hit one ball out of the infield that entire inning. Went an error/hit, however you want to call it. A tough play for McConnell. Then a bunt single, and then a Bermuda Triangle single over there for the 3-hole. As Noah Orlando swings at the first pitch and fouls it on over to the first baseman there. We have 2 outs already for Thacker, who worked quick in the last inning, and he's working just as quick this inning. So, apologize, that wasn't Noah Orlando, that was Nick Tuttle, the 8-hole. The battler now coming up is Noah Orlando, who's actually from Georgia, so don't let his last name fool you. Yeah, he goes to Savannah State University, the 5'11" middle infielder. He's playing shortstop today. Mentioned he had a tough day at the plate yesterday. Takes the first pitch for a ball. 1-0 is our count. And that should be smart for Noah Orlando to take a few pitches here, especially since the first one was thrown for a ball, just to get what's his name, Donovan Thacker sweating a little bit as Noah Orlando lines one out to the right fielder. Gets Faymann to work a little bit out there in right field, but he backs on up and makes the catch there near the warning track for the scrappy shortstop. Put a little jolt into that ball, and that's another quick inning for Donovan Thacker, who has impressed this entire inning. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back out there for the 6th as we are headed to the top of the 6th. And it looks like Will Wentz is still going to be on the hill for the Xenia Scouts. He had to throw at least 25, 30 pitches in the top of the 4th. So we're going to take a short break here, but we'll be right back here as the score is 2-2, head into the top of the 6th inning. You're listening to your Hamilton Joe's Network. are back here at Grady's Field inside of Xenia, where Will Wentz is going to go out for his second inning of work. And if anything shows like earlier today, the first two pitchers, this might be his last inning of work, as we're going to see the lefty, Chris Hamilton, the hero from last night's ball game, step up to the plate and lead off today. So far, he had a single right up the middle that he able to come around and score the second run and the last run for the Hamilton Joes, and then he struck out his second at bat. Remember, I think Diego Quinones threw him quite the slider there, as Will Wentz bounces a curveball up there for ball one. Chris Hamilton 2 for 3 yesterday. Hit a triple in the 8th inning, as we continuously mention. The left fielder, Lanky, up at the plate. Has an upright stance. Swings and misses. He kind of pulls off the ball a little bit. You see lefties do that. I mean, the pitch was inside right there, but every swing just kind of look like there's a little pull to it. The most famous left-hander that does that is Bryce Harper. 2-1 is our count as the pitch comes and winds and deals, and it's outside there on the fastball. 3-1, and Will Wentz is struggling here at the top of the 6th inning, but we've seen him getting a few 3-ball counts. Don't be surprised if the next 6 balls he throws are right around the zone. As Will Wentz winds and deals, and it's a base hit by Chris Hamilton right at the middle, similar to the one he had in the first inning. And he's got a leadoff hitter with a big boy, Griffin Dorshin, coming up to the plate. So Chris Hamilton starting today like he just did yesterday, 2 for 3 at the plate. Didn't have an RBI earlier, but he did move the runner. Now Griffin Dorshin, he was 1 for 5 in yesterday's game. It starts this one off 0 for 2 with 2 ground balls.
Looking at Dorshin, you see how huge he is. That you may think that he hits a ball in the gap, he may not be going far, but last night hit one in the right center gap for a triple. Came around to score later.
Runs like a deer too. Well, like a horse, just looking at his legs. First ball is a curveball on the outside for a ball. 1-0 is our count. Dorshin waving his bat up there, and he gets another curveball. That one for a ball as well. 2-0 is now our count. So not only has he filled out bricks up there, but he also, I mean, his stand, I mean, like we said, so much of baseball is just to look at him, and he's got a slugger's stance right there, standing completely upright, waving his hands around, keeping them right around his shoulder. I mean, it's menacing. 1-1 is our count here, 2-2 our score. Chris Hamilton taking the lead off. First ball that Will Wentz is thrown over. 1-1 is our count. So he gets the pitch sign. Throws a fastball up. It looked like they got crossed up because the catcher had no chance of doing that one. And like we mentioned, it's okay when you cross him up when he's expecting a fastball and you throw a curveball because his pitches are slower. You can react to it a little better. When it's the other way around, that's where it gets a little dangerous. Luckily for Will Wentz, he threw that pitch high. Well, I guess it's a wild pitch nonetheless, but if he would have thrown that pitch maybe at the height of the umpire's mask, we might be in a little bit of a delay, a little CTE action going on out here. Never understand why umpires don't have to wear a skull cap, because why do catchers do? I mean, they get hit in the mask just as much as we do. I used to be a catcher. As there's a pop-up from Griffin Dorshin, he hits it right into center field, and he is noticeably frustrated at this point. We actually saw him his first 2 at-bats throw his bat in noticeable frustration. Well, he did it once again there as he popped it on up. Count is 2-2 is still our score. And now coming up to the plate is Mike Hale. Yeah, a lazy pop-up by Griffin Dorshin. You can look the look, but you got to walk the walk as well, I guess, for Dorshin. There's a runner on second base. He wasn't even able to move the base runner, Chris Hamilton, who got the second base on the wild pitch, the pitch right before that. And Will Wentz has 1 out and a runner on second base with the 5-hole Mike Hale coming up to the plate. First pitch is a fastball in the dirt, and Wentz looks a little wild out there today.
With the runner on second base and just 1 out, Hale's definitely the guy that you want to see up there.
Yeah, went 2 for 4 yesterday with a double and 2 RBIs. And he's the catalyst of the middle of that order. The fireman. Last guy. The 5-hole comes up. Takes another pitch for a ball. 2-0 is the count. Wentz missing low once again. At least he's not crossing up with his catcher. Jerry Lindsey's actually gotten crossed up twice today. Second game of the season. We're still some growing pains. It just called for a strike right there. 2-1 is our count. Wentz hopping on the rubber now. Hale stepping in. He's got an open stance there. The lanky first baseman stands straight up. Not a whole lot of movement in his stance as comes as Wentz does. And it's a base hit through the 6-hole. We're going to see if they're going to send Chris Hamilton. It looks like he is not going to send him. It's going to stay first and third. And Chris Hale almost got picked off if he was trying to jump the edge on going to second base on a possible throw to home plate and almost got picked off by the shortstop but was able to get back in time. So now it's first and third with one out here. 2-2 is our count. That's a good piece of hitting by Chris Hale. Or Mike Hale, apologize.
You see Hale sending it to the 5-6 gap right there. Most of his hits this season, his 4 hits this season, seem to go to the same place in the field, just finding holes.
So Adam Grissom decided to hold up Chris Hamilton, which was the right call, as the ball wasn't hit too far into the left fielder. First pitch is low, and Mike Hale's getting a little antsy out there on the base pass as he thought about going to second base on the fastball in the dirt, but has to hustle on back to first base before Jarrett Lindsey can make a throw over there. Don't be surprised if we see a little action coming on if Addison Coffey is able to get a base hit here. A little action from the Scouts bullpen. I can't see down the bullpen, but do they have anyone warming up?
They had someone throwing earlier. They have a guy looking like he's at the fence, ready to go. He was definitely throwing earlier, maybe warm and just waiting for the next inning, or if they get in trouble here, they might look to go to someone else.
2-0 is our count here with one out. 2-2 our score. Gonna take that one for a strike. 2-1 down the count. As Addison Coffey, the man with the plan who hit the ball over the fence yesterday, is looking to take the lead for the Hamilton Joes. A little 6-inning magic right now. Third time through the order. And the finale of the second act of this game. And he knocks one right up the middle. And the Joes will take the lead 3-2 as it's going to be first and second as 3 hits this inning. Smells trouble for Will Wentz as now they got to deal with Tyler Faymann, the right fielder. So there's another RBI for Addison Coffey. Just a base knock right up the middle. First and second, one out.
Yeah, Coffey shot that one right back where it came from. Looked a lot like his first at-bat with that RBI single.
Yes, it did.
Looks like we may see who was warming up in that bullpen. It's got a mound visit now.
So we're going to see the manager for the Scouts going out to talk to him. The manager is Bubba Cates. So he's talking out. He's looking down in the bullpen as they're still not getting anyone fired. Hot and ready like a Little Caesars pizza, but there is one out here. 3-2, first and second. He's talking to the infield, trying to think of ways they can get one out. Is 3 hits from the deadly part of this Hamilton Joes lineup, and I'm pretty impressed by the heart of this order between Justin McConnell, Chris Hamilton, Griffin Dorshan, who actually has just impressed me by his size alone, hasn't seen much with the bat. But Mike Hale, Addison Coffey, and now we're going to see what Tyler Faymann can do. The man that wears Hamilton on his jersey, probably the second most on this team behind Chris Hamilton, has Tyler Faymann, as we mentioned, has played for the Joes before, and he played for Miami Hamilton, where the Harriers are scarier. So the Joes coming up to the plate. First and second with one out. Will Wentz coming set, trying to get out of this inning. They're going to have the shortstop, Noah Orlando, not playing up the middle in normal double play depth, but instead they're going to have Nicholas Tuttle up the middle as they got a little shift going on for Faymann. Just a slight one. The outfielders haven't shifted at all, but the infielders are playing at not normal double play depth as the shortstop can go to third base on the play. Ball in the 6-hole. Wonder if the shortstop just called something to the rest of the field, signed something. No, Orlando did. Maybe just the way to play this one, as there's going to be a runner from Mike Hale. Try to steal third, but it's going to be a foul ball heading back to the screen. Nicholas Tuttle actually left double play depth during that play and hustled on over, and we see these people squeezing the lines more than the middle of the field. Really spreading apart that middle of the field, and which is pretty interesting considering all the hits that the Hamilton Joes have right up the chute. So the 1-2 pitch coming to Faymann. It's a curveball, low and away. 2-2 now our count with one out. 3-2 our score. The Joes have marked across 9 hits. Those, I think the official scorekeeper, who's in this, at least in this room, me, I'm only counting 8. He gave a hit to Trey Compton in the first inning. 2-2 our score. One out. Mike Hale's thinking about stealing again. They throw it down to third base, and he is out from here to there. Not a good jump. I think he overestimated his time, and I like the look by Jarrett Lindsey. Sometimes catchers like to go on that double steal, like to go to second base because the guy on first can't go until the guy on second base goes. So he's normally a few steps behind, but Jarrett Lindsey, plenty of confidence in his arm to get Mike Hale out. And just like that, the Joes might have ran themselves out of an inning because instead of having first and second with one out now just have a runner on second base with 2. And Faymann has to try and make a little something happen here in the top of the 6th inning with a full count and 2 outs. Takes that one for ball 3. Apparently the scoreboard had it wrong. It was 2-2 before that pitch. And on deck, even more questionable of a call by Mike Hale. Oh, it was ball 4. See, the scoreboard wasn't wrong.
Confusion there. Faymann was just standing around waiting for the next pitch.
So the interesting part about that whole thing is not only did you give yourself now only one opportunity to try and score with a runner in scoring position, you went from 2 opportunities to 2 outs to give to 1. And now stepping up to the plate is the man who hasn't gotten out today. He's 2 for 2 with 2 singles. He's yet to face Will Wentz. Actually, no, he didn't. He faced him last inning as he takes the first pitch for a strike. Mike Hall. So now we got runners on first and second with 2 outs. 3-2 is our score. 0-1. 0-1 is the count. Second pitch from Wentz coming in. And it is popped up to right field. And right underneath that's going to be the right fielder. And that marks the end of the inning. But Mike Hall did put a good charge in. That right field fence is shallow. But it was sent all the way out to the warning track as that marks the end of the 6th inning where the Hamilton Joes were able to take the lead here in the final act, the finale of the 2nd act, I should say, as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. We're going to see what Donovan Thacker can do. We're going to take a short break. You're listening to your Hamilton Joes Network. And we are back here at Grady's Field here in Xenia, Ohio. We're going to see what the Scouts can do here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They got the right leading off, the leadoff hitter leading off the bottom of the 6th. This is the 3rd time that right is going to see Thacker. And we'll see what Thacker can do the 3rd time through the order as he got a little flustered in the 1st inning, but has since been very sharp as he's put 5 scoreless frames up. I apologize, 4 scoreless frames up in a row. Right, pops up on the first pitch to the center fielder, and it's an easy out. And Thacker, part of his success is just how aggressive these Scouts hitters are. I mean, they're not taking any pitches; they're going right at him, and that's just mainly because Thacker's staying in the zone. You can't fall behind, so might as well swing the first few good pitch. But Thacker's just mowing them down. I mean, he hasn't thrown more than 15 pitches in an inning since probably the 1st.
Yeah, he's definitely settled in nicely, and he's going right after the hitter. He's not messing around with any of them.
So now we're going to see Chandler Chambers, who has the bunt single and then had a fielder's choice in the 1st inning. The 3rd inning, apologize. That was the 2nd at bat. So now coming up, 0-1 is the count with 1 out here. Thacker getting ahead again, but then knots it right back up as count is 1-1 with 1 out here. The Scouts haven't had a base hit since the 4th inning. It wasn't too long ago. Snuck it through the right side of the field. And before that, their last hit was all the way in the 3rd. They've had 2 hits since the 1st inning. They had 3 in that 1st inning, and since then, they've only gotten on base twice. 1-2 is the count here with 1 out. Thacker trying to put down Chandler Chambers. And while he has been efficient, hasn't had that strikeout pitch working just yet. And through the first 5 innings, he's only able to put 1 K on the board. Puts that one in the turf. 2-2 is now the count as Chambers lays off.
Yeah, him just having 1 strikeout really shows you how early in the count that these Scouts hitters are jumping on pitches, because he's getting outs, just a lot of defensive help behind him.
I've seen a couple double plays turned as here comes the payoff pitch in 2-2, and it's a ground ball to Mcconnell out there at short. He throws on the run again. He could have just planted his feet, but it doesn't like to look pretty, and it did look pretty as they get the 2nd out of the inning. Mcconnell actually saw him throwing away on the run earlier in this game, and I thought he was on the run just because he had to get rid of it, but there he had plenty of time and just stayed on the run. So that's the 2nd out of the inning. Graham Welch now comes up to the plate, the center fielder. Justin Mcconnell is actually from Springboro, Ohio. He goes to Wright State University, which Wright State might have a claim as the best college in Ohio, in baseball at least. You know, it's really between them and Kent State. And that's even with the heavy hitters of UC, Xavier, Ohio State, of course. I'd take Kent State or Wright State just about against any of them.
And that may be the reason why you saw McConnell redshirt last year in his freshman year at Wright State.
Yeah. 1-1 is the count here. Here with 2 outs. Trying to get Graham Welch to get out. He swings and misses at a slider. Low and in. Tipped it, they're saying. 1-2 is now the count. He has gotten two strikes deep on a lot of hitters, but hasn't found that strikeout pitch. But he has been finding the out pitch working just as good. And he almost had a strikeout right there. We saw a foul tip, but we saw Mike Hall couldn't hold on to the ball. Slowing away. That's so frustrating as a catcher because you feel like you could have done something differently, but really, what can you do differently there? Squeeze a little better?
It's all happening so fast.
Absolutely. You always get flustered with yourself, though, when it happens. 1-2 is the count here with 2 strikes and 2 outs, and there's a strikeout in the turf, and Mike Hall just does a good job at getting up and tagging Graham Welch to get out of that inning. So another scoreless frame by Donovan Thacker as he is working ever so good, and we gave him a lot of, we're talking a lot about how he can get the strikeout pitch going, but he found it there against the 3-hole Graham Welch, and now we're going to be heading to the top of the 7th inning where the Hamilton Joes have a lead 3-2. We're going to see, it looks like another new pitcher coming, but we'll tell you about it when we come back. You're listening to the Hamilton Joes Network. We're back here at Grady's Field at Athletes in Action here in Xenia, Ohio, where we are going to see the 9-hole come up to the plate. Chandler Miller. We're going to see a new arm on the hill for Xenia Scouts as they're sticking with the 2 innings apiece. And for the 7th and 8th, we're going to get Thomas Fleeser, a 6'5" sophomore who actually goes to a D3 school up the road, up I-75, Ohio Northern University. Polar Bears, as they're called up there, as he misses the first pitch for a ball. Will Wentz is in line for the loss as he threw 2 innings, gave up 4 hits, gave up 1 run. Fleeser gets the ground ball to the shortstop, Noah Orlando, who comes back and gets the out there. I thought he might struggle getting that throw off as he didn't come and get the ball. He waited back and actually took a step backward just to get the right hop on the turf. And since he fell on his back foot, didn't have as much behind the throw, and actually Caleb Eater did a good job at scooping the ball over at first base for the first out. And now we're back at the top of the order where Trey Compton's going to take over. Compton, he's 0 for 3 on the day. Got on an error in his first at-bat, grounded into a double play second at-bat, and then grounded out to the shortstop. He's not having the best day at the plate. Center fielder. They're looking back to the press box, almost like you heard what I just said about him.
Good timing.
3-2's the count. I was just commenting on his play today, and next thing you know, he's looking back here, and so is the umpire. It's 1-0's the count. He's thought he might have found a base hit down the right field line, but it just goes foul. So 1-1 is now the count here with 1 out.
Sent a couple shots down the right field side today, but none of them being able to find a play.
Yeah, he's able to put a good bat on the ball to the opposite field. We've seen him ground the ball out to the shortstop 2 times in a row. On balls in the plate.
It looks like the Scouts just sent out another catcher, so now they have 2 guys warming up in the pen, getting ready.
Not a whole lot of faith in Thomas Fleeser. Well, we are getting near the end of the game where your cord gets a lot thinner. Your line gets a lot shorter. Trey Compton swings at a pitch over his head there, but took a nice hack at it. It's as if he decided before the pitch was coming in that he was just going to go ahead and take a hack at it, as Fleeser missed that by a mile, but so did Compton with his swing. 2-2 now our count here with 1 out. 3-2's our score. He winds, delivers, he takes that ball, which is a slider in the dirt. So we got a full count here. And if one thing you're seeing the Joes do so much better than the Xenia Scouts is their ability to work counts. Scouts are swinging at everything. Joes are able to take, and they pop this one up, and they're going to see if it can stay in play as the catcher Jarrett Lindsay was on the chase of that ball, but decided just to hang out around home.
Yeah, the Joes have seen a lot of full counts lately ever since Quino's came out. We've seen a lot of full counts, a lot of guys working counts for him.
Yeah, the Joes might have the lead, but the Scouts definitely have impressed the most today with Diego Quiñones. Is that his name? Quiñones.
Trips me up every time.
As Compton strikes out swinging, they're going to throw the ball around. The horn now, as he swung and missed on it, looked like a fastball, but it could have been a changeup. Lanky pitchers, especially ones that throw from the three-quarter slot like Fleecer does, do typically to have that change-up action. And actually, Fleecer, we've seen him throw from a couple different angles. That one was right over top as he misses for ball one. Justin McConnell hasn't had the best day at the plate. Struck out looking, popped up to center field, and struck out swinging. 0 for 3. 2 times hasn't even put the ball in play. So McConnell's coming up. And looked like he almost got hit there, but it's going to count as ball 2. We were blinded a little bit. We couldn't see the full action of the play as we got a blind spot right on the inside of the strike zone with the umpire and the right-handed batter. So Fleecer going to deliver to McConnell with a 2-0 count now. He misses once again. 3-0 count. He's looking down the line, seeing they're going to give him the green light. Wouldn't expect it, considering 3-2, new pitcher into this game, and not having the best day at the plate. Sometimes you just got to let him go. McConnell gets his timing, but takes the pitch. You can tell it was a take from the get-go because he didn't have the same funk that he had to his stride. It's so weird being in there on a 3-0 count. You feel defenseless when you know you're taken, and you want to get your timing, but nothing feels right. And he swings at the 3-1 pitch, and it's floating up there in right field to see if he can make a play. And ooh, ever so close, but it's going to be a foul ball. The right fielder, who is actually the leadoff hitter, right, almost made a fantastic play. The right-hander, left-handed batter, but right-handed fielder running down the ball, and it just went about 5 feet to the right of the line, about 300 feet down the line, dives and just barely was out of his reach. So now we got a full count here with 2 outs. Justin McConnell coming up. 3-2 is the count. 3-2 is the score. We're going to take ball 4. We're going to see McConnell on base for the first time today. So he's going to take a walk here with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning, and in stepping is Chris Hamilton.
We got 2 outs and a runner on, so we've seen Lindsey's arm once today. McConnell stole a base last night. It'd be interesting to see if they have anyone on the move here.
Yeah, McConnell stole a base last night, and with 2 outs and the most dangerous hitter in this Joe's lineup at the plate, it wouldn't be that bad of an idea to steal here. If he gets out, it's the end of the inning. He's lead off with Chris Hamilton anyways. If he gets on, if he steals the bag, you got to run around second base with your best hitter up. It's really just a win-win in the situation. They have a complete shift on now for Chris Hamilton. They put in a guy up the middle. He's put 2 balls up the middle. The second baseman's playing in shallow right field. Third baseman playing right in the 6 hole. And they're trying to get that new school lead by Justin McConnell, trying to time it. There's that new trend in baseball. Everyone's teaching it these days. Is what they call new school lead. At least that's what my college coach called it. Where it's you get a little bit of a shorter lead and you just try to hop and get the timing ever so slightly. It used to be you just waited for the pitcher to pick up his leg and you went for it as there's the first strike is called. But now you're trying to anticipate when he's going to go, and you get that little hop, just get your momentum going. But you're still close enough to the bag to get back in case he picked off. McConnell is yet to get that hop right. 2-1 now the count is another fastball. Misses high and away. 2-1 the count, 2 outs here.
Definitely an interesting lead to watch over there by McConnell at first.
It's hard to do. I mean, some guys just are ever so good with just their instincts. McConnell, he's hopping around there like a bunny rabbit. over there on first base. And you can kind of tell it's getting in Fleecer's head a little bit as now Jarrett Lindsey's going out there to talk to him.
He stepped off a couple times in a row, looking over at McConnell a lot, so had a little mound visit, talk about what to do here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Jarrett Lindsey at this point, you got to tell him that you want to focus on this hitter more than anything. The thing about McConnell is he cannot score without a base hit from Hamilton, so you don't want to lose your focus on anything other than the batter at hand. McConnell's still over there hopping around. He almost had it there. I thought he had the jump, but he decided not to go. 2-2 is now the count. 2-2, 2 outs. 3-2 is the score. Chris Hamilton, 2 for 3 on the day. His lone time not getting on base was the strikeout from Quinones. And McConnell's going, and that's swing and a miss for strike 3. And Chris Hamilton strikes out to end the inning as McConnell finally got the jump, and Chris Hamilton went for the bait on the high curveball, high slider, and that ends this inning. So it's stretch time here at Grady's Field, and we're going to take a short break as you're listening to the Joe's Network. We are back here at Grady's Field inside of Xenia, Ohio at the Athletes in Action Athletic Park. Stepping up to the plate is Caleb Eater, the first baseman, as Donovan Bracken gets the first pitch for a strike. Jonathan Thacker is doing very well. I mentioned the first inning gave up 2 runs, but has now put up 5 scoreless frames and very efficient factor. 1 now the count. And he winds, delivers another fastball in there for a strike. 0-2 now the count. 3-2 is our score here, as the Joes were able to take the lead in the top of the 6th. Now the bottom of the 7. Haven't seen a whole lot of action from the Scouts' offense at all today, really. Thacker's been pretty sharp, but not as sharp as that miss right there, as it ever so slightly misses on the outside part of the plate. Call going with the 0-2 fastball call. It just barely missed. 1-2 are now our count. Thacker winds, delivers. And he gets a foul pop-up right over the grandstand here. 1-2 is now our count. Got no one out here. Really like to know what Thacker's pitch count is this far into the game. We're not high-tech enough for that. And there's a strikeout in the dirt, and now they're going to toss it on over to first base as the catcher, Mike Hall, just flicks it right on over there. And there's 1 out. So after commenting on how Thacker hasn't had his strikeout pitch work, and he strikes out the 3 and the 4 hole in consecutive batters. Now there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. 7th. One out here. Now stepping up to the plate is Regan. Regan, through 2 times through the order, has a single, and he's grounded into a double play. And there's a ground ball on the first pitch to the second baseman, just flicking right on over to Hale. And there's another quick out from Thacker. So Thacker has now not given up a run since 2 outs. Actually, yes, it's 2 outs in the first inning.
And the scouts are definitely helping Thacker stay in the game. It'll be interesting to see if he comes out for the next one, if he makes it through this one. Because quick at-bats, he's getting them out pretty early here.
No, it's not often, especially in college kids, where you see pitchers go this deep into a ball game. I mean, 7 innings, very strong outing from Thacker. He's 6 2/3. I don't want to jump ahead of it, but he just got the first strike on Jarrett Lindsey, who's 0 for 2 on the day, who's grounded to the second baseman twice. So here comes the 0-1 pitch to Lindsey from Thacker. He misses on up, fastball high. 1-1 is our count. 3-2 our score. And Joe's showing plenty of confidence in Thacker, as they have no one warming up in the bullpen to this day, and why would you? They don't even have anyone out there. As this ball is fouled off to the backstop. 1-2 now the count. Here with 2 outs, 3-2 our score. Joe's put 9 hits on the board today. Scouts just 5. 3 in the first inning, 2 cents. 1-2 our count. Thacker trying to put it away. There was a fastball in the turf. 2-2. Hall doing a good job at blocking that one up. Hall's got some shiny Wilson gear on, catcher's gear. Sharp behind the plate there. We'll see how shiny that stays by the end of the season. Mix some dirt in there as the 2-2 count is coming your way with the payoff pitch from Thacker. And it is flared into right field, but right underneath it is Faymann. Thought he might have a little trouble with the sun, but is all for naught as that ends the end of the 7th inning, where the Joes still have a lead 3-2 here at Grady Field in Xenia, Ohio. We'll be take a short break. You're listening to the Hamilton Joes Network. And we are back here at Grady's Field in Xenia, Ohio, the home, the birthplace of Tecumseh, the famous Native American. 3-2 is our score, as stepping up to the plate is Griffin Dorsey, who's starting off on the year 1 for 8. Got pretty frustrated his last at-bat. We'll see if he can get something going in the top of the 8th here. And he puts one in the left center field gap. We'll see if the center fielder, Graham Welch, can bring it down, as he does just that, as he brings it all the way out to the warning track. But we finally saw Griffin Dorsey put a little jolt onto the ball, as the center fielder, Welch, barely got to track that one down. Just hung up a little too long and a little too close to center field, but it does make it all the way out to the warning track, as Dorsey put a good jolt, and that's probably the hardest ball we've seen hit yet today.
loud out, that's for sure. That was carrying to left center, but just not enough on it as he got knocked down.
Mike Hale stepping up to the plate now with 1 out. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Fastball on the outside. And we're still seeing Fleecer out there. Fleecer misses again. 2-0 is the count. To this point, Mike Hale is 2 for 3 with a double and a single. He's also grounded out to the second baseman. This is his 4th at-bat of the game. Low scoring matchup, 3-2. Hale puts some good wood onto that one, but it's going to go foul. Feels fair. It might have had a chance of going out. The wind is blowing out to right field. Just not a good breeze, but enough to give a little more height on the ball. The shortstop is actually playing exclusively in the 6-hole against Hale. You mentioned that all of his hits this season have been pulled that way. We saw the double down the line, and then he had a single in the 6-hole, and that's where Noah Orlando is playing exclusively. So the 2-1 pitch is thrown up. 3-1 now the count. Good count for Mike Hale to come into. And might I say, it's a good count for anyone to hit in, and it's a good pull pitch count. So we'll see if it pays off. He fouls one off behind the grandstand. 3-2 is the count here with 1 out. The middle of that field is for Hale's liking, if he wants it, as Tuttle and Orlando have given about 120 feet in between the two of them. As the 4th ball 4 is thrown for Fleecer, and that might be only the second walk we've seen today. A lot of strikes. We've seen a lot of deep counts come their way. When Will Wentz was on the mound, we saw a lot of deep counts, and even Fleecer went 3 or 4 balls, but he did walk someone last inning, which, checking my scorebook, that is, only the second walk of the entire game, and Stacker has not allowed a free pass. And you know what they say, walks will haunt here. As now stepping up to the plate is Addison Coffey, who had the RBI single to give the Joes the lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Now the top of the 8th, 1 out here, Hale, who made a foolish base running mistake in the 6th inning, at least in my opinion, and really kind of jinxed them out of an inning, really, the Joes. As the count is 0-0, and he's going to try and steal again. He's taking off for second base, and he steals second base, and it really wasn't even close. So the out that Hale caused earlier, he takes it right back, as now he's in scoring position with 1 out. The last time we saw him in scoring position with 1 out, he tried to take third base and was out from here to there.
Yeah, it wasn't the best
He made
jump
up
he
for
got
it.
there, but yeah, that one he was there.
You mentioned yesterday that the Joes were stealing left and right. Today, it's their second stolen base. 0-1 count. You don't see many first basemen run as much as Mike Hale does, but he's not a prototypical first baseman. Really, the only thing that's first baseman-like on him is how lanky he is. So Addison Coffey at the plate. Swings and misses on a slider on a way. Fleecer drops his arm down ever so slightly. Get that slider. He mentioned how tall he is. He's 6'5". The Sunbury, Ohio native. And he throws his fastball over top. You'd think that he would, just with how lanky he is, the over top delivery, he had a nice 12-6 curve to that repertoire, but instead, when he throws his breaking pitch, his arm drops down a few inches, down to a different window. So 0-2 is the count here with 1 out. Saw a changeup there as he dropped down for the changeup as well. So really the only time he throws overhand is the fastball. He's built like a pitcher, Fleecer is. Big and tall. 1-2 is the count here with 1 out. Runner on second base, Mike Hale, and Addison Coffey at the plate. Takes that one to make it 2-2. Addison Coffey on the season is 3 for 7. It's 2 hits today, including 2 RBIs. He also popped up to the third baseman in his second at-bat. He contributed the last 2 runs as he strikes out on a ball in the turf and doesn't even make an attempt to go to first base. He was just tagged out by the catcher, Jarrett Lindsey. Now coming up is Tyler Faymann. Faymann had a chance earlier in the game with 2 outs to come up to make a delivery, and he walked. It's just the first of 2 walks on the day. And that could attribute for how quickly we're playing this. I mean, we're only 2 hours in, and we're just about 10 outs away from the conclusion of the game. So Faymann coming up, 1-0 is the count as he took a fastball up, and here comes the second pitch. He takes that one, and that's a strike at the top of the zone.
Close pitches there, both kind of looked in the same area. The second one nicked the strike zone there, but like Faymann's discipline at the plate, he had 2 walks last night, scored on both of them, and has 1 today already.
So there's the second strike of the day. Or second ball, I apologize. It was a breaking pitch that went on the inside. Tyler Faymann, a Mason native, home of the Comets, and Kings Island. Strike 2 there. 2-2's now the count with 2 outs. Runner on second base. (3-2) our score. Joe's been able to put 9 hits up on the board. The Scouts put up 5. And there's strike 3 as Faymann's going to take one looking. He's going to take the walk of shame back to the dugout. But as you mentioned, he's a defensive specialist, at least from this early in the season's what we're looking at. And they need him now as they've got a small lead heading into 6 outs away from their second victory of the season. So good job by Fleecer after giving up a walk, getting 2 straight strikeouts to conclude the 8th inning, at least the top of the 8th inning. As they go down for a little bit of a charge, they got the bottom of the order coming up in the 8th inning. We're going to see, we'll get that right back to you as we head back. You're listening to the Joe's Network. So we are back here at Grady's Field here in Xenia, Ohio. Score is 3-2 now as they're going to send Donovan Thacker out for the 8th inning. And Thacker's done a tremendous job. We mentioned he's put 6 straight scoreless frames up there after giving up 2 in the first inning. And those 2 runs, we mentioned it before. Not 1 ball left the infield. And the Joes showing the ultimate sign of confidence in Thacker as they still don't even have anyone getting loose up in that bullpen.
Yeah, it'll be great to see Thacker work his 8th inning here, see how that goes. You mentioned earlier he had 4 appearances the whole year for Madonna University and had 9 2/3 innings, so he's can't get that in this game. But 7 strong, looking for an 8th.
He's coming out there. He's got the bottom of the order coming up. Start leading off is a ground ball to the third baseman, and that's going to just tip right off the third baseman's glove and trickle into the outfield. And that's the first base runner as Donovan Thacker was able to retire 10 in a row. And now this is where we're getting into that territory. I mean, that was just a nothing base hit by Ben Bills that just tips right off the edge of the third baseman's glove, Addison Coffey. But I don't think Mcconnell would have had a chance to make the play as it was a high line and shot, but they're going to get a pinch hitter for Nicholas Tuttle. But this right here, or actually a base runner for Ben Bills, as that will mark the end of the evening for Ben Bills. Putting it in is James Boswell from Aurora, Colorado, who goes to Glenville State in Colorado. Yeah, but Adam Grisham might want to advise to at least get someone loose. Not that Donovan Thacker's done anything wrong, but he's pitched a phenomenal game, and the one thing you do not want to do is give someone who's pitched a phenomenal game a chance to lose it. So we'll see what happens if they get someone loose here soon. I imagine he's got a shorter rope now. If he gives another base runner up, I'm almost definitely getting a guy loose. Nicholas Tuttle's coming up to the plate. 8-hole. As we got the middle infielders coming up next. Don't be surprised to see a bunt now from the 8-hole. And that's exactly what he's doing. Is he's showing bunt. He gets it down the first base line. They're going to get the out just right at the first base. The first baseman, Chris Hale, fielded that ball, flipped it on over to the second baseman. And that marks the first out of the inning. And now coming up to the plate is the shortstop, Noah Orlando from Savannah, Georgia. Runner on second base with 1 out. Donovan Thacker trying to work his way out of the first sign of trouble he's had since the first inning. Actually, the first time that there's been a runner in scoring position since the first inning. So 3-2 is our score. Thacker's first pitch, low and in. Fastball low and in. No, Orlando laid off that one. So he's going to mark ahead. Catcher Mike Hall is going to go out there and give him some words of wisdom here, trying to calm him down. It's not that he's riled up by anything, but this is a big situation. Tying run on second base with 1 out, 9-hole up.
And it's been a while since he's been in any trouble, had anybody in scoring position. So
it's the first time he's actually been in the stretch since the 4th inning. He's done 3 straight frames with 4 Ks during those 9 batters. So it wasn't the 3rd time through the order that tripped him up. We'll see if it's the 4th, as this guy Noah Orlando marks the final batter of the 3rd time through the order. Right on deck. 1-1's the count here with 1 out. As Orlando takes a fastball inside. 2-1 is now our count. Boswell, a little smaller. Ben Bills looked the description to be a quicker guy. Looked athletic, but now they got a little speedier out there with Boswell. Thacker delivers, and it's a ball hit chopped up the middle to the second baseman. Second baseman throws it over to first baseman. Throws it low, and Hale actually does a good scoop. Thought it might have been a tough play and could have been disastrous, but Hale showing off while he's got that big old mitt on over there. As there's 2 outs, and the runner did advance over to third base. 3-2 still our score.
Yeah, great play by Hale over there to make that pick. Possibly saving the game tying run there. We saw him at DH yesterday, so it's our first glimpse of him in the field, and made a pretty good play there.
So we see Madison Coffey creep up to his normal, not right on the edge of the green turf. I don't want to say grass, but the green turf for the cutout. And it's interesting because the tying run on third base with the hitter up, and he's going to squib one to the shortstop to see if McConnell can get him out. He's going to make a play on the run, and they're going to say he's out. Ever so close, as that's a tough call by the umpire, but I think he made the right one. That does a fantastic job. And I was just about to say the reason that Madison Coffey was playing in so shallow was because of the speed of Wright. Well, he squibbed one right to the right of McConnell, who had to come up and make a fantastic play, and he does just that, and he saves this game for the Joes. So it's going to be tied at 3. We're going to head into the 9th inning, and we got a new pitcher for the Xenia Scouts. 3-2. Did I say 4-3? So it's 3-2 is our score, but we're going to have a new pitcher for the Xenia Scouts. We're going to tell you about him as we come back. You're listening to the Hamilton Joes Network. We are back here at Grady's Field in Xenia, Ohio. Apologize. And on the mound, the new guy to tell you about from Rosamond, California, the 6'2", 260-pound senior Sam Drawley, the right-handed pitcher, goes to Carr University as he misses there on the pitch. 2-0 is the count as the first pitch missed high, the second pitch missed in the dirt. Maybe he'll go inside and out and get a walk. And the third 2-0 pitch is flying out to right field as Mike Hall hits it all the way out there. And the right fielder lost it in the sun ever so slightly. And with that breeze blowing out to right field, it just kept drifting on back on him. And it goes all the way out to the warning track, but it is end up in his glove. So for the first out, and now we got Chandler Miller coming up to the plate.
Yeah, Hall's had a couple of flyouts to right field now that have gone fairly deep.
I think he's seen the ball well. He started off 2 for 2 and then he's put some good wood on it his last 2 at-bats. So Chandler Miller takes the first pitch for a strike. Chandler Miller from Panama City Beach, Florida. The junior goes to Trevecca Nazarene, 5'9", as he hits a one-hopper right to the second baseman. They get him out. 2 outs now. Here, the 5'9", 180-pound junior. It's a Trevecca Nazarene, NAIA. Now, coming up to the plate is the leadoff hitter, Trey Compton. Trey Compton coming up. He's 0 for 4 on the day. He scored the first run, and he got on by an error. So this one's going to bleed on out to right center field, and it looks like it could be 2. Hit pretty hard. He might even try for 3 as the center fielder gets it in. First it looked like it was a bleeder, but it was hit pretty well out there, and I think it just shows you how well the wind's blowing today as it was hit off the end of the bat and just kept flying on out there. And it was down from the get-go, but he thought it was going to be a little shallower, and he was able to get to second base. So Trey Compton finally has a little something going there. And now Justin Mcconnell has a little insurance run opportunity. He walked his last at-bat. McConnell's first pitch. Grounds out to the shortstop, and we'll see if they can make a play on him. He barehands it, and he throws it away. It says it's going to be a run, and we're going to see if McConnell can get all the way to third base, but it looks like he's slowing up to second base. He hit a one high chopper right to the shortstop, Noah Orlando, and Noah just barehands it and gets rid of it all in the same motion, but overthrew Caleb Eater over there at first base. And that gives the Joes much needed insurance there, a little State Farm, to get them a 4-2 lead here, as that is the second error for the Joes on the day.
Yeah, originally a great start to the play there. That barehand was pretty nice, but just the throw got a little away from him, and the first baseman unable to get it.
So a good job by the top of the order to get a little run across, push one across here with 2 outs and 2 consecutive pitches, actually, as after Trey Compton hit the double, the first pitch that Justin McConnell saw, he scooped on out to the shortstop that was thrown away. And now we got Chris Hamilton up to even extend the lead here with 2 outs, 1 strike, and a 2-run lead in the top of the 9th. No one warm in the Hamilton Joes bullpen, so they're going to let Thacker finish this one out. And I'm sure that extra run really helped them guide that decision.
Give him a little cushion to work with. Go back out there, see if he can get a complete game in his first start. That'd be a little confidence booster to start the season.
Good way to start it. So Chris Hamilton, 2 for 4 on the day. 2 singles, 2 strikeouts. Both swinging. Last at bat came in the 7th inning when he struck out on the curveball high, and he is going to hit one out to left field. Let's see if he can get past the left fielder, and it does not do that as he lines on out to the left fielder. And the ball's traveling so well today here at Xenia. And it's hard to see how hard the balls hit off the end of these wooden bats, but that one was hit hard and lined out. So we're going to see if Donovan Thacker can get his first complete game of the season, the first complete game for the Joes this year, as he's had a fantastic start, and he's going to go head on out to the mound for the bottom of the 9th. And we'll have that action for you back. When you come back, you're listening to the Hamilton Joes Network. We are back here at Grady's Field here at Xenia, and we got a lot of stuff going on as Donovan Thacker has a big old smile on his mouth, out there on his mug, out there on the mound. 4-2 is our score, and we got the top of the order coming up there for the Xenia Scouts. Donovan Thacker, who, as we mentioned quite a few times, struggled there in the first inning, but not struggled too much. Did give up 2 runs, but since then has been absolutely fantastic as he gets the first pitch. They're actually going to have a pinch hitter for the leadoff hitter right. Up at the plate right now is number 16, Chandler Chambers. I apologize. Nick Wright actually got out last inning, so it's going to be 2-3-4 coming up to the plate. So it's not a pinch hitter. It's Chandler Chambers, who is 1 for 3 on the day. His lone hit coming from the bunt single over on the right side of the infield in the first inning. 1-1 is our count. Donovan Thacker winds, delivers, and deals. Fouls this one off, and this one is fouled right off the umpire's hand. He's going to walk this one out and try and buy some time by giving Thacker a ball. Mike Hall's going to give him some time too. Thacker, give him a little pat on the ump's hand. And you can tell that one hurt because he's had it in his pocket ever since he got hit. I think it hit him right in the hand, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked like it. He's definitely taking his time out there. It didn't look like it felt too good.
If anything, and just give a little time for a camaraderie out there between the umpire and the battery, the Joe's battery.
Yeah, he's stretching out there. Definitely got him in the right hand there. Got a smile on his face walking back, joking around with the players, so looks like he'll be good to go.
So Thacker with a 1-2 count here. Trying to complete this game, and as the old lefty for which the Hamilton Joes take their namesake, Thacker's rounding third and heading for home on this complete game. One, two, our count. Thacker winds, delivers, and deals. Throwing a fastball up at the eye level of Chambers, the right-handed hitter. A little chin music there. 2-2 now our count. I want to know, how long do you think Thacker's leash is out there for this inning? So they don't have anyone cooking in the bullpen, and there's ball 3. If he were to arise a little bit of trouble.
It'd be definitely interesting to see after this full count pitch to see what Manager Grissom wants to do.
So full count here, no one out. Leadoff hitter in the 9th, and there's a ball lined right back to the screen. So it's the 6th pitch of this at-bat. Here comes pitch number 7, and I think Thacker's actually had a couple innings where he threw less than 7 in the entire inning.
Yeah, it's been smooth sailing since the first inning, and just looking to continue that here in the 9th for a complete game.
So here it comes. Another foul ball. So Chambers making Thacker work, and this is not what he wanted. And I don't know what his pitch count is going into this inning, but it couldn't be too terribly high. But still, if you work 8 innings of work, regardless, especially giving up 2 runs, you're going to be in the triple digits, or at least around it. And pitcher's working a lot of 3s. 3 strikes. Most pitchers have 3 pitches, but 3 digits on the pitch count is where it gets a little dangerous. As this ball is popped up to center field, and the breeze isn't going to take it anywhere as it just goes right to the center fielder for the first out. So an 8-pitch at-bat nonetheless by Chandler Chambers, but long at-bats don't do a whole lot in the bottom of the 8th inning when you're down 2. As the first out is again in.
Good to see Thacker have a full count there and pump 3 straight strikes in there to get the out after a couple foul offs. It's good to see him still going like that in the 9th inning.
So Thacker facing Graham Welch, the 3-hole for the Scouts, lefty. 1 for 3 on the day as he lines one up the middle. McConnell's not going to get to that one. Now, what do you think there, Zach? Do you think that's a hit or do you think that's an error?
That was a tough play up towards the middle. I'd like to see it go as a hit for McConnell's sake, but hit off the heel of his glove there. Definitely with his arm, he definitely could have made it pretty close at first play.
Yeah, I mean, the ball was hit hard. There's no doubt about that. Graham Welch put a good barrel on the balls. There's now a runner on first base, and with Caleb Eater coming up to the plate. But yeah, he had to go to his left a little bit and just ate him up ever so slightly. And the first pitch is a strike to Eater. Eater may have wanted that pitch if he could get that one back. You know what? In my scorebook, I'll give him a hit.
Sure, Graham Welch would love to hear that part.
So Caleb Eater coming up to the plate. He's 0 for 3 on the day. He got on base one time in the first inning on an E5 there by Addison Coffey. As the second pitch of this at-bat is swung on and missed. It's a fastball at the top of the zone. Eater peering down to Thacker. Thacker got the sign, and here comes the delivery, and it's going to be a low fastball. 1-2 now our count. 1 out. And I can't imagine you're going to see Graham Welch doing anything funky on the base pass, as you don't want to risk losing base runners, especially when it's not even the tying base runner. It's they're still down 2. You need another base runner on. 2-2 now our count. As that ball misses low and away.
Thacker's missed a couple times in around the same location. A little wide on the right there, but with the way that the home plate umpire's been calling that outside pitch, not terrible pitches.
So Thacker comes set, peers over to first base, and here comes the pitch, and it's fouled off to the right side of the field. There's a little fan over there chasing after that ball. 2-2 our count here in the second game of the Great Lakes 2018 League season year. 2-2's our count, 1 out. Thacker peering down. Here comes the pitch, and it's fouled back to the screen. Thacker working a lot harder than he wanted to. See the sweat glistening off him. It actually turned into a pretty nice day here. As we mentioned earlier, I have it listed as cloudy and overcast, but the sun came out a few times. There's a nice breeze. There it still is a little cloudy, but it's a beautiful day here in southwestern Ohio nonetheless. We don't get a whole lot of these, so we got to cherish them. It's the 2-2 count from Thacker. Here comes the pitch, and it's a slider. Actually could have been a cutter. Got a little more velo than his typical breaking pitch, but it did have some tilt to it. So a full count here with 1 out. Caleb Eater, the cleanup hitter for the Xenia Scouts, as the tie and run at the plate. Here comes the pitch, and it's through the 6 hole. Now it's first and second with 1 out here. Tie and run on first base, and we'll see if Adam Grissom makes a move to the bullpen here. Peering down in the dugout, can't see a whole lot down there, but it looks like he's going to come at least talk to the pitcher, Thacker, and he does have a man rushing out to the bullpen, number 32. Who is that, Zach?
That is Will McLean. We saw him last night. He closed out the game. Faced 3 batters, struck them all out, closed the door pretty good for the Joes. So if it comes down to it, we need someone to come in and close this game. McLean's definitely more than capable.
So this is where you get to a point, and Thacker's done a fantastic job. Done a fantastic job on the hill nonetheless, but you got to have someone out there ready to go in this situation. I mean, at least you're going to give him this extra batter probably regardless, but you give McLean more time to get ready down there. If you knew that that was the guy that you're going to come to in the situation, why not have him at least getting loose down there, as he's now quickly trying to get ready, and Thacker's got at least one more batter as Regan's coming to the plate, who's grounded out 3 times this far in the game. He's grounded out right up the middle, so perfect double play opportunity as the middle infielders for the Hamilton Joes will be pitching near the second base. 4-2 is our score here with 1 out. Thacker coming set. Really the first time he's had to work hard since the first inning. Well, I guess last inning he let a runner get all the way over to third base. The 2-run cushion certainly does help his case there. But now the go-ahead run is at the plate, and the tying run is on base with 1 out. Second pitch is grounded to Addison Coffey. Let's see if they can turn a double play to the second baseman, to the first baseman, and just like that, Donovan Thacker gets it, and that's the end of the game. So Will McLean, as the fireman, is not even needed today as Donovan Thacker throws a complete game. 2 runs given up, both earned. Fantastic game by Donovan Thacker, who settled in really after that first inning to just win this ball game for the Hamilton Joes. And Hamilton Joes stay undefeated on this young season. 2-0 is the score. We're going to take a short break, and we'll come back here with a little post-game talk here. You're listening to your home for Hamilton Joes Baseball, the Hamilton Joes Network. And we are back here at Grady's Field, where we just saw the Hamilton Joes win their second game on the young season, 2-0. They were extending their record too. They scored 4 runs on 10 hits, had 3 errors as the home team scores it. The Scouts themselves scored 2 runs on 6 hits and 1 error. And a fantastic job by Donovan Thacker, who got his first win on the season. He had 6 hits, had 3 strikeouts. Both of the runs were earned, but he faced just a bare minimum of 30, not the bare minimum, but a very few amount of hitters. He faced 35 batters today on his season, and right where it looked like the wheels were falling off a little bit, got the beautiful 5-4 to 3 double play to end it, and a couple good games on the offensive side. Who really helped them on the offensive side, Zach?
We saw key part from last night, Chris Hamilton. We had him go 2 for 5 again today, but also we had Addison Coffey made an impact yesterday, made another impact today, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Michael Hale with an RBI, a couple hits. For the most part, we had some good offensive threats. We had Michael Hall, the catcher. We saw Holman start last night and get a couple hits. Now we have Hall getting a couple hits tonight, so we have some good production from the catcher position from 2 different guys in 2 days.
Yeah, one underlying factor, and we gave him a little bit of a hard time earlier about hitting, was Trey Compton. He scored twice today. He had the double in the 9th inning, which gave the beautiful insurance, but he scored twice today. I mean, he went 1 for 5 on the day, but both times he got on, and that's what you want out of your leadoff hitter. I mean, you want him to score. That's why you put him up there. Justin Mcconnell, who had a great day yesterday, struggled at the plate today, but he had a few good plays at the shortstop position, and he had an error or 2, but nonetheless, it's a hard position to play. Griffin Dorshing, once again, goes 0 for on the day, so he's 1 for 9 on the young season. But yeah, as you mentioned, right in the middle of that order, Mike Hale, Chris Hamilton, and Addison Coffey all have 2 hits apiece. Addison Coffey with 2 RBIs, 2 out of the 4. Chris Hamilton with a 2 runs scored. So it was just a fantastic day all the way around for the Joes, but would not have been possible without Donovan Thacker and his fantastic performance. So you got to give him player of the game.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have a guy go complete game, especially in your second game of the season, I mean, we saw McLean warm up a little bit when he got in trouble there, but he was able to work out of it right after the mound visit, induced a game-ending double play.
And we'll see if Donovan Thacker can do this later in the season when a couple of these bullpen arms aren't as fresh. They need a little more time. But he did a fantastic job today, and really the key to his success was how much he was around the plate. Xenia was trying to capitalize on how much Thacker was sticking around the plate, but it really just played into Thacker's hand as he got quick inning after quick inning, and he just stayed around the plate. He had 0 walks, and when you throw 9 innings, that's a highly impressive way to start it. We'll see what he can do next time he comes out on the road. I don't think we have a game tomorrow, do we not?
We're off tomorrow. We'll be back home for Tuesday.
We have a Tuesday game, and you can listen to
Giants.
that. Yeah, against the Green Giants. This Tuesday, you can watch and listen to our beautiful voices this Tuesday. That concludes this game as the Joes won 4-2. I'm Reed Mouse, joined along here with
Zach Varia.
And we thank you for listening, and listen back and watch on Tuesday. You're listening to the Hamilton Joes Network.